Welcome to Fire Breathing Kittens, an actual play podcast. Every episode microplot is a complete adventure with a beginning and an end that fits into the overarching macro plot of the whole season. Because they stand sturdily on their own, you can listen to these adventures in any order, and you can skip any that you don't enjoy. Today, we are playing using the combat mechanics from the game called Ironsworn. We are still new to this system, so we might make some mistakes. If you enjoy these mechanics, you can find Ironsworn on www.ironswornrpg.com. Build your own Ironsworn character and play a game with friends. Speaking of friends, today we are joined by Chico.
Well, hi there. Nice to meet you. I'm a 3'4" desert cottontail rabbit foal. Got myself tan fur, white chin and belly, and I got orange paws. Wear a cotton shirt, denim overalls. I have a straw hat and a backpack filled with straw. In addition to for this session, there's a coyote that's followed me from my last adventure. It's not as sassy as the last one I had following me, but this one just happens to like collecting bones for some reason.
Reine.
Hello everyone. I am a 5'2", human-looking woman. My most distinguishing feature is most probably the claw mark over my left eye, which has rendered it unusable. Clad in normal adventurous gear, some leather, some cloth, a headscarf that I never take off, and yeah, my hair is a sort of a dirty ash blonde.
And last but not least, our final friend is Robin.
Robin has black hair this episode, which is dyed, and she's wearing a delivery driver uniform. And for you guys, I'm practicing a character voice this season. Should I say more? It's not great. But
yes.
I mean, it started out much worse. There we go. All right, so I have something for you. What is it like being a delivery driver?
What is it like being a delivery driver? I have no idea.
It has its UPS and downs.
Oh, that's good.
A person who likes practicing a character voice likes the cringe looks on her friends' faces. Okay.
I'm going to kill your character last.
Wait, that means we're first. Oh no.
Okay, shall we get right into it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty then. We're going to start this episode, much like other episodes that we have started. The three of you are in the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall. It is morning time. Everything is open. The kitchen is staffed. What are you all doing today?
Well, Chico's going to be just eating away at some breakfast of some oatmeal or something just nice and simple. And he's going to have that coyote there with him. The coyote's just chewing on a bone it found outside somewhere.
Is anybody else doing anything?
Reine would probably sit on like one of the like a larger tables. These like I guess 12 people like tavern tables, I would assume, are probably in the mess hall. And she would be like drying flowers or something, and then like one of them would like roll off the table, and she would like lean down and like lift the table over her head, this like 12-person solid wood table with like one hand, pick the thing up, then bonk her head against the underside of the table, drop the table, again bonk it onto her head, and then just sit there with the thing she wanted to pick up on the ground again because she like dropped it in surprise, and just hold her head like friggle sniggle.
Chico just looks over and says, "What in tarnation going on over there?"
I'm fine. Probably. Ow.
You don't see Robin, but you do see that the dog-like coyote has gained a package next to it.
A package? Where'd you get this, little buddy? It's not even noticing the package is still just gnawing on a bone. So I pick up the package and I open it. Wait, is that a small package?
about 20 inches long.
20 inches long? Okay. And like, wait, is it addressed to me or does it look like it's being given to me?
It says for dogs on it.
For dogs?
Yeah. And it's like 4 inches wide.
And I look at my coyote and say, you're close enough. And I open it up. So what's inside?
A femur.
It's a feet. Well, look what I found for you, little buddy. And the coyote just smiles and takes it and starts chewing on it. There you go. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Hope that wasn't for anyone else. Anyway, I'm back to my oatmeal. Are you sure you're okay over there?
Yeah, it's throbbing, but it's okay.
Alrighty then. Going back to my oatmeal.
So as you are enjoying your breakfast, nursing a goose egg and lurking, there comes a knock at the Guildhall door.
I mean, Reine would probably get up since I would assume she's closest to the door. Still maybe like hold her head with like one hand and like go up to the door and like see if she could like peek out before she opens it.
I'm going to say that there is that slide at the top for a view, like in the movies. So you can do that if you want.
But she would open it like just a little bit, you know, like pretending like she isn't there, but she does kind of want to know who it is before she opens because she is still like scared.
Alrighty. I have no problem with that. You see a timid looking small frog, bipedal frog. He looks to be a tinkerer. He definitely works with his hands. He has a leather apron on and he's looking a little sheepish and scared.
Okay, then she would like open the door because that doesn't seem that scary. And he seems like he needs help for a day.
Yeah, the frog man looks up at you and he says, "Oh, hello. I was looking for the fire-breathing kittens. I haven't met you before, but I have something that requires your assistance. Is Chico around or graveyard shift or some nameless lady?"
I've definitely seen Chico. I mean, if you'd like to step inside, you can just talk to him directly if you'd like.
Oh, thank you. And he will step inside. He'll follow your direction, as this is your house.
She would just like punch him to where Chico's eating his oatmeal.
Okay, he sees Chico. Chico, are you pointed towards the door so that you can see him, or is your back to this individual?
I'd be facing towards it. I'd be looking over and I'd recognize, this is Bixby, isn't it?
This is Bixby.
Okay, I recognize Bixby and I recognize I don't wave yet and I wait until once the two of them start approaching me, Chico just went, "Hey, Bixby, nice to see you again."
Bixby sees you, looks relieved that he sees a familiar face and also a friendly face. And he walks over with one hand raised in a greeting. Very standard, like, "Oh, hello, Chico. I was wondering if you could help me again with another assignment I could give the guild."
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, I've got nothing going on right this moment. Just finishing up my breakfast here.
Okay. Well, when you're done, we can away to where it's kind of secret. My client, my partner in this, he is quite stingy with his information and with who he brings in. So take your time. We'll go when you're ready. Do you have any people that you might be able to bring with you?
Well, sure. And he looks directly over at Reine there. Just have you got anything to do? I don't think we've really met yet.
I'd love to come along. I've heard some stories about you from the others, so
I'm flattered. Nice to meet you.
I'm looking forward to working
Chico.
together.
Mm-hmm. And what is your name?
Reine Ilvaby.
Nope, he holds his paw up. Nice to meet you.
Reine would shake his paw.
And this here is this little coyote. I don't really have a name for it. It's been following me for a round. These coyotes, they just decide to follow me and then leave when they feel like it. This one's been pretty nice to me. Usually kind of mean and sass to me, but this one's been pretty nice to me. It just has a fascination with bones, though. And it's just chewing on a bone, just... Go ahead.
And as you look at the coyote, there's a person wearing a delivery outfit petting the coyote.
What? Is it? Oh, that's, well, what's your name now?
I am Robin.
Yep, I think this is the first time we've met, and he just does this really obvious wink.
She winks. And I guess, should I roll for the episode, GM, for my infiltrator trait?
Yes.
Establishing.
And I was also going to ask you if you wanted to be in disguise even from your party members, because if that's the case, we can do rolls for that. Or are you content with them knowing that you're in disguise and that's just kind of what you do?
Yeah, they should probably. I mean, they might not figure it out, but I'm not keeping a secret from them.
I mean,
Okey-doke.
unless you smell different, Reine would probably know.
I do smell different. I'm wearing gardenia today.
Nice.
Yeah, but no, I'm not like keeping it a secret, but it is my routine habits to change perfumes with. Yeah.
If you want to say you'd put the effort into making it to where you want to keep it a secret,
No.
I'll just say I don't know. But
Not from my party members, no. But I will roll plus shadow to establish the false identity for the episode. So is that a D8 against 2D10s, GM?
It's a d6 plus against 2 d10s.
Okay, that is a strong hit.
All right, you successfully establish a false identity to Bixby, which is good because he's met one of your personas before, and you as a raccoon.
Yep.
Did I miss anything in that asset? That asset should say on a strong hit XYZ.
Yeah, add +2 when you make moves using this identity to deceive or influence others. So
Okay.
people will really think I'm here to deliver packages this time.
Perfect. Make sure you make that addition, and we will. You are successfully ensconced in your disguise.
I'm carrying a box and 2 of those padded envelopes.
Okay. Are you wearing like brown shorts and a brown button down?
How did you know?
I pick things up here and there. But you're not wearing any coveralls or anything.
I'm not sure what a coverall is.
Oh, maybe a dialect thing, like a jumpsuit.
I think the shorts and the brown thing would, I think that's more countries in the world use that. So no overalls or jumpsuit or coveralls for me. Yeah.
Alrighty. We will continue. If anybody else has anything they would like to do in the guild hall, you may do it. If not, we will underway.
nope, I'm finished with my oatmeal.
I am paying more attention to the dog than to the people around me. Uh-oh.
Just like me.
It is happily chewing on the bone you gave it.
All right. Well, Bixby is going to read the room, pick up the things seem to be over, and he's going to direct you out of the guild hall and into a carriage, a horse-drawn carriage. It is quite long and black and sleek. On the outside, looks very well made.
It's like fantasy limo.
Yeah.
Cool. So Chico will make his way to that carriage as well. I believe he's beckoning us to go there.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's actually opened the door for you.
Well, thank you very much. I'll make my way in. Don't mind the hay kind of spilling out of my backpack here. He tries not to make a mess with his backpack of straw. And it's like, well, if you don't want animals, it can hop in this backpack here. As this little coyote jump inside.
There is actually a carriage driver there as well. He is an older gentleman, thinning to almost no hair on his head, but still well kept. It doesn't look like he's trying to hold on to anything he doesn't have. And he has a pencil mustache, and he's wearing like a very dapper black coachman's attire. And he says, "Of course, the canine is not required to do anything specific. The carriage is quite large enough."
Oh, okay, buddy. You hear that? You can come on, jump out, and have a good time with your bone there. And he jumps out and just continues chewing on it.
Very,
Reine
very
would
good,
also get
Master
in.
Chico. Miss Reine. He knows your names, but you guys have never met him before.
She would be probably surprised and then just kind of like bow her head in like a greeting because she's kind of like taken aback. And sometimes she like her gaze kind of like rests on the bone for just a second too long, and then she sits down.
And will the third young miss be joining us today?
Can I gather information? He didn't use my name, right? He didn't say anything. He said young miss, which, that's nice of you. But,
He certainly is not.
Oh.
So you're young to him.
Okay, so, all right, I'm not going to gather information. I get in the limo.
Okie doke. He closes the door behind Bixby, who was polite enough to let you all in before he got in. And he takes his seat up at the coachman's seat, snaps the reins, and away you go. If there is no chatter on the way to your destination, we can fast forward there. But if you would like to have a conversation while en route, you may.
Chico will ask Reine, so where are you from?
Oh,
First time
somewhere out in the woods, I guess. I'm still
out in
not
the
quite.
woods.
Yeah, I'm still not quite sure with the geography.
That's my fine, but well, this little guy comes from the woods as well. Just got done with a job out there in the woods and going and find this wrecked spacecraft and fighting going to some tournament. And well, I almost lost, but then something to do with my deity protected me. I got this coyote deity. That's why these coyotes follow me every now and then.
So it's like a messenger of your deity.
I believe so. There's some kind of, well, it's a trickster goddess, but I think right now she's been looking out after me for a while. Usually, last time she sent me a coyote, I was having to deal with really difficult, tricky situation with my family. But that's all behind me now. That's all been dealt with.
Oh,
and
tricky
he actually
situation.
reaches over.
Tricky situations I can understand, yes.
And Chico reaches over and pets his coyote behind the ears as it enjoys his bone. I do enjoy the company of these little coyotes now.
The region behind the ears are so soft. Soft. So soft. Yeah. On their shoulders, it's kind of like bristly, you know? But behind their ears, it's all soft.
It is a very cute companion.
He's just scratching behind the ears. He's like, yeah, I know. It is very soft and it's a very cute little critter here. I do happen to enjoy all little critters alive. I try to take care of all nature's animals and all that.
Oh, I understand that sentiment. I've recently acquired ? A critter called a hystricid.
What?
What
is that? Never
it's
heard
a
of
bit
it.
larger and it might happen to drink blood, but it's cute if you like rub its belly.
You see the gears processing in Chico's head. You mean like a bat?
More like a
It drinks-
porcupine.
His eyes his mind's breaking, trying to think. I don't know what this animal is. Wait, is it with you right now?
Oh no, it would be too large for the carriage. Also, I still haven't properly trained it yet, and I don't want anything to happen to anyone. So,
Well, you have to show it to me one time because that just sounds like the most interesting beast I've ever heard of.
sure, I'll have
Porcupine
to.
that drinks blood and likes belly rubs. Got it. That's quite interesting.
I'll have to socialize them at some point. So,
In the background, like, what Reine is picturing is this, like, giant 10-foot tall porcupine with quills that suck blood, and every time it tries to eat someone, she wargs into its body. And it's like, no, don't eat the human. And, like, makes its paw release the person. And then stops working and comes up and scratches its belly.
clicker training.
Clicker training the hystricid.
Is the hystricid here? You didn't bring him with you, did you?
No, I think she. Since Reine is kind of broke, she usually like camps outside. She's like a druid, so she usually just camps outside somewhere, like in the outskirts of town, and I guess just somewhere, like, in the area around the city that's maybe a bit more shielded, she might have it.
Right, now the Hystercid is eating someone's cows.
I was going to say unsupervised. Great. Okay.
Maybe Cameron is there. Who knows?
Right. Is Robin doing anything or asking anything while you're on the carriage?
No, just gonna pet the Fluffy.
Okay. Does the Fluffy have a name?
It actually doesn't. It's weird because all of Chico's, if he gets a animal companion, it'll more likely always be a coyote, but they never stick around with him. They come and go. They're usually sent and follow him as like temporary guardians. That's how I'm role playing it as. So each of them have little different personalities, but they're all either this is one of the coyotes he befriended, or was part of like the coyote family he befriended in the last episode he was in, Code Purple. So that's how I'm role playing out. This is just one of them that followed him. So it may not show up in another episode. So he doesn't really name them. He's just it's just another coyote.
Right. Okay. Well, that's kind of a farm boy thing to do with your livestock, is not name it. But yeah. In that case, Bixby is willing to give you a rundown of where you're going and what you're going to be doing. So Bixby it's big enough of a carriage and he's small enough of a dude to be able to walk up and down the length of this thing and side to side. And he's gesticulating while he does this, and he's pacing while he does this, almost like he's doing a presentation. And he says to you, my partner, benefactor, he stumbled upon a bit of a criminal ring out in the Misosu woods. They're poaching a very rare kind of mink weasel. They're of the pied variety, and a pied animal has a mix of pigmentation and non-pigmentation. So they're kind of like splotchy albinos. So like a pied ball python is the pythons that are white with splotches of like regular scale coloration. There's certain horses like that, the ones that are white with splotches of color. I don't know if calico cats are like that, but if they are, they could also be pied cats. But it's a very rare variety of mink weasel.
At the mention of poaching, Reine kind of like clenches her fists and kind of like her teeth like crunch a little because she's like grinding them.
Mm-hmm. Bixby picks up on this and he says, am I causing you distress?
She kind of like snaps out of it and kind of like shakes her head and is like, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm not the biggest fan of poaching as most people, I would hope.
Neither is my benefactor. Does anybody have any other questions for Bixby before you arrive at your destination? You have well and truly left the city, left the surrounding farm side, and it's getting quite natural growth. So you go from the manufactured growth of farms and agriculture to forest and thickets and whatnot.
I was going to ask, so we know that there's this benefactor in the Misosa Woods, you said?
Yeah, Misosu, but...
Misosu Woods, okay.
Close enough.
And the problem is that we've got to handle some poachers?
Mm-hmm. That's...
Okay, so we have to take out some poachers.
Mm-hmm. Identify and take out.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay, just making sure that was the mission.
I mean, you could try to take it off-road, but I'd rather you didn't.
Although I don't want to focus on it, my character would have a lengthy discussion on how much we're getting paid. She's very concerned about gold. The player doesn't care, but the character is like, how do I phrase this? Expensive per hour. So, like, yeah.
Well, I do not have much liquid assets to splash around and hire capable help. My benefactor certainly does. In fact, he is very rich.
Could you say 20,000 gold, maybe, for this day job?
I don't speak for him, but I can see it being even higher than that.
Hey, I'm in. All right. And then, so you'd say she'd almost do like anything for money. Yeah.
Like delivering packages. Ugh.
Like delivering packages.
Where exactly are we being dropped off? Like more of the outskirts of the area, or?
Actually, we're going to drop you in the village center in the Misosu Woods. It doesn't seem to have, the settlement doesn't seem to have a name. They just call it home or town, the locals do, because there's no other, any kind of civilization around here. It's untamed wilderness, except for this little pocket that has been tamed.
That sounds comfy.
It will be easy to spot the poacher's tracks. Anyone here does not deserve to be here. Perfect. I know I've never been hired to take out anyone before ever. This is new to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just going to ask, what time of day is it? Like, well, it was the morning when we left. What time of day is it now that we've...
So
or how long is it taking?
Although we did do a lot of talking, this carriage is very, very fast. And no, you didn't check, so I'm not going to tell you. But this carriage is fast, and it seems to handle dirt roads just as well as like cobblestones and paved streets. But it would be before lunchtime.
Okay.
You would be arriving probably just before lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I think we're going to arrive. So the carriage comes to a halt, a gentle halt, very, very luxurious. And the door opens, and the tall man is there with the pencil mustache, and he opens the door for you.
Oh, thank you. Chico hops out.
You are very welcome, and he inclines his head.
Reine would follow, and then maybe like try and look at the wheels of the carriage.
They have expanded and gotten wider, and they have also acquired treads, like thick knobby treads.
Ooh, mechanical marvels.
Robin feels reassured that she will be paid one way or another for this adventure. This person's got stuff.
Would you like to meet the people of the town and do interviews, or would you like to go straight to see my benefactor?
Neither. We are here to kill the poachers, right?
Yes.
Let's just go to... Yeah, okay, perfect.
I would perhaps stop by the villagers, because if anyone knows these woods, it's probably them. And there might be another Hystracid.
This is true, but if we tell them that we are coming, they will tell their friends who are poaching that we are coming. So perhaps the element of surprise is how I would like to handle all things in my life.
Well, if I may assuage your fears there, these are the people that my benefactor is helping.
Everyone in a village is always uniformly united in purpose. You are correct.
Well, I mean, this one is. There's no one else.
I trust them completely, with all of my heart.
I don't believe you, but we will go because I think Miss Reine here makes a point.
I have a question before we go.
You may ask.
What animal are they poaching?
A mink weasel.
Mink weasel. Can we have a mink weasel?
Like a real one to hold and hang out with?
That sounds fun, but no. I was going to use a bait trap.
Oh, I don't have one, but the locals know where they are, or they might even have one, and
Perfect.
then you could use it
Okay.
as a lure.
I trust these people with all of my heart, I say, with meeting this time. And I head out with you guys.
I mean, people who have mink weasel can't be evil. That's like a law of nature.
Reine, because you're the one who invented the mink weasels, would you like to provide a physical description of them?
Of course. Mink weasels are a little bit like how hippogriffs are like a combination of like a horse and like an adler. Mink weasels are kind of like, they have like the general body shape and like the hind legs and tail of a weasel, or like a ferret actually. Mink weasel just sounds nicer than mink ferret. And like their front legs have these like bird joints, and so it's kind of like with a hippogriff where they have these like pigeon talons on the front, and their heads are still on like the neck is still ferret, and just the very tip of the head is sort of like where they have a beak and these like big, cute, I have not a thought in my brain, pigeon eyes with fluffy milk ears.
And what are the standard colorations of the mink weasels? Are they pink? Is that what I saw?
In general, they're a mix of like ferret colors and pigeon colors. So some are like completely gray with like a bit of this like green and like lilac that like city pigeons have usually. Some are kind of like, the more rare ones are kind of these like white spotted ones. But in general, they can come in kind of like all colors that appear in like pigeons and ferrets. And I guess there could also be like pink ones.
Okay.
Like Pickles, for example, has like the light spotted colorations of like these white beige ferrets, together with like the markings on the wings and stuff that you'd see in like a city pigeon.
Okay. Yeah, my memory for the art that I saw is not that long, I guess.
I remember its cute little derpy eye. It's looking at you and it does like a blink. You know the one brain cell blink.
Exactly. That is Pickle.
So yeah, these things are getting poached, and we can't be having that now, can we?
Absolutely
not something that cute.
not.
Okay. Are we proceeding into the village?
Yes, Chico will.
Reine
Okay.
would go along.
Alrighty, all three. So as you enter into the village, it is basically an Ewok village. So it's in the trees, circular huts around, trunks of trees, rope bridges. There's rope elevators and ladders to get up to the living quarters, but there's people on the ground floor because it's daytime, it's time to work. So there's various people doing woodworking, processing food, stuff like that.
Well, this is pretty interesting. I never thought I'd run into a village like this. I remember being told about a village like this during my interview when I joined Firebird Kittens, but I don't think that's that town I was told.
It's not.
He's just kind of getting lost in thought, looking around.
Reine seems a bit like excited because it does feel a lot like her home village where she's from, because it's also just like a village surrounded by nothing but forest for a long time.
Okay. So Bixby is walking ahead of you, and he goes over to somebody who's dressed a little bit more ornately and seems to have a few more years on them than everybody else. And he kind of tugs at their cloak, at the bottom of their cloak, because he's short and this person's tall. And the person turns around, very stoic looking individual, long, like very, very black hair. Even though this person is like older looking, their hair is just jet black. And very much like John Redcorn from King of the Hill. That's kind of what he looks like buff, but a little older kind of guy. And he seems to be dressed with some extravagance. You know, his jewelry and his clothing has symbology on there that other people aren't wearing to kind of denote either a leader or a spiritual person or somebody significant who might not necessarily work with their hands, but contributes cerebrally to the society. And he says, Chief, we have the people who might be able to help us with this poaching problem. And he turns and he goes, hello.
Well, hi there. Nice to meet you. I'm Chico, and these two ladies are Reine and Robin.
Reine waves.
Wave.
Hello and good day. Good morning, I should think. It's not quite afternoon. Thank you for coming to help us with this problem. It's been stumping my hunters for quite a while, and it's very frustrating, not to mention very sad. The children love playing with the mink weasels of these woods, and they're becoming less and less common.
Well, that's a shame. They make the children around here happy and give them something fun to do, and they're getting poached. Why are they getting poached exactly? Is it for their fur?
Well, there is the exotic pet trade, because I'm sure, Bixby, did you tell them that they are of a unique coloration? Bixby said, yes, of course. Well, there's that. And then possibly just for pelts.
Mm-hmm.
So
It
either
is disgusting what people will do for money.
quite. I can tell that you, as a humble delivery person, do not mind living by the sweat of their brow and the calluses of your hands.
And my back. Oh, and I put a hand to the small of my back.
He stares at you with very, very dark, piercing eyes, and he just nods. And the chief looks at Bixby again, and he says, should we show them to your benefactor, the one who said that he would source the help and be able to end this problem once and for all? And Bixby says, yes, of course. Well, I don't know how you contact him or where he is. You just seem to always know where he is. So I will do as we've discussed and not watch you wherever you go. And I will get back to what I'm doing. And he's not impolite. He's just very stoic. He turns and kind of walks away to help and provide guidance to kind of some young woodworkers who look like they're struggling with a 2-person saw, trying to saw some logs. Bixby kind of looks back at Chico, seeing as you guys have a previous relationship that he knows of. He does have a previous relationship with one of you as well, but he doesn't know that. And he's going to say, well, Chico, why don't you and your friends come with me?
Alrighty.
So he turns and you guys leave the way you came in. The carriage is gone because you would have been able to see it once you turned around. It's completely gone. And you walk deeper into, well, he's trying to get you guys to walk deeper into the forest.
I mean, Reine is wary because the last time there was someone who was very stingy with information. They turned out to be the head of a spy network.
Mm-hmm. I was there for that.
Yeah. So she's wary, but the forest is sort of her home turf. Not in a way that this is her home, but she feels definitely more safe than in an open city. Mm-hmm. So she's in general more tense than in the guild hall because of the whole poaching thing. It is physically visible that she is holding something back. But for now, I guess she'd concentrate on the quest giver, I suppose, and be wary, but also be just a little bit more confident than usual because this is her thing.
I guess you feel like there might be only one way forward and there's no backup pan.
Yeah, no pocket prayer either.
Could that be in one of the packages?
I was thinking it. I didn't want to ask.
It's actually a great poetic device to have a package, and it's both holding and not holding something you might need.
Yes.
You won't know until you open it.
Schrodinger's package.
Yeah, exactly. So you follow Bixby, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bixby leads you guys out of the city, or it's not a city, out of the village, and he is looking over his shoulder, making sure no one is watching, and as you guys are walking, there's a bunch of big kind of redwood sequoia looking trees, very, very wide trunks, very, very tall trees, and he looks to his left and he walks that way, not very far because you're actually right by a tree. It's like taking a left at a city block. And as you guys turn, you see the carriage driver again. He's standing at attention. There's not a single article of clothing out of place. There's not a speck of mud on his shoes or anything. And he says, Master Bixby, you and your companions would like to see him? I think so. Would you lot care to meet who will be paying you?
Sure.
Eh,
Chico just shrugs like, eh.
personally,
Quite.
I do not, but
Monetarily.
monetarily, I do.
Quite,
yeah,
he says. And
Ray likes to know who she's working for.
I don't know. I thought the plan was meet the villagers, find out where the minkbirds are. Okay, all right, I meet your guy. Whatever.
And the carriage driver turns and he faces the tree. Some kind of light shines on his face, looks as if it's scanning up and down, and then the trunk of the tree slides open, almost like dual elevator doors, enough that two grown humans can walk abreast. And he enters, and inside, you can see inside, you guys haven't gone inside if you don't want to, is like a steampunky looking elevator, very coppery, brassy looking things. There's some moving parts and cogs and everything. And he gets in, and he gestures politely for the rest of you to enter. Bixby goes in, no problem.
Chico's looking at that clockwork door that just opened and the face scanner and everything that just happened. It's like, well, this is very fancy. Or a little too fancy. This is one of them high tech. This is like that spaceship we were just in not too long ago. But not quite. Well, clockwork. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Quite. Well, if you would be so kind as to enter, I will present you before my boss could be a word that you might attribute him to, but he's much more than that to me.
Chico just walks in. He's kind of lost for words. Very weird circumstance here. It's not new to it. It's just anytime he comes up to something like this, he doesn't know what to say, really. He just does it.
Reine is new to it and also has no idea about tech. So she'll just like follow along, and her confidence like slowly shrinks the more she like walks out of the foresty surrounding.
Chico looks back. Are you weirded out too? It's not just me, is it?
I don't know how this is possible, but I mean, Cameron keeps trying to like explain these things to me, but
I've been in the fire breathing kittens for quite a while, and one thing I've learned is you just don't ask questions about weird things like this. You just go with the flow, and it all works out.
I think I might adopt that frame of mind. So
you're in the elevator, Chico?
Yes, I'm in the elevator.
Bixby turns to you and he kind of looks around and he goes, "Do you like it?"
Yeah, this is pretty nifty. He looks around at the clockwork stuff. Reminds me of them those vehicles you built.
Well,
Did you build this?
Yes, I did.
Oh, really?
This was a contract by this individual. He's a little theatrical, a little, as you can see, but he has some very deep pockets.
Well, I could definitely tell it's your craftsmanship because it looks so nice and nifty and it's interesting. That's the main part.
Quite. I've been working for this man since a little bit after the kart racing that you guys did so well in. And it has been very beneficial for the both of us.
What do you mean?
Well, he
For
gives
both of us.
for me and the
you
benefactor. Yes.
Got it.
He has very unique tastes and very interesting projects for me to do and things I've never done before. And I've almost sold my business because I have so much work from this guy. And it's so interesting.
Well, that sounds fantastic. Glad you're getting work and trying new things and everything. I've been trying quite a lot of new things as well. This adventuring thing has gotten me doing a whole bunch of different things.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad that you're doing well. I'm glad I'm doing well, certainly. And I'm glad you're here with your friends now.
I've never met these two, but they're doing a fantastic job.
Me neither. I've never met either of these two. Nope, never. He doesn't know I'm making jokes.
Chico's just pretending like he doesn't know, but he's just being polite to keep their
Every time,
Keep
nope,
whatever
don't know
research.
him.
But with the Reine, it's like I have no idea who you are.
We have 2 out of 3 fire-breathing kittens in the elevator.
I'm in the elevator. You didn't
we
notice.
have 3 out of... Perfect. That's very on brand. So,
Delivered herself.
although I didn't notice, and maybe Bixby didn't notice, the elevator man did. And so as soon as you walk in, he hits a button, and the doors close, and you start going deep into the earth. And
This is not the direction I expected.
no, it could have been sideways. Can you imagine? And you do end up going just straight down. Bixby, totally unsurprisingly for his craftsmanship, it's smooth. It's a great little elevator ride. There's no cringy music. It's great.
Oh, I was hoping there was cringy music.
No, it's actually
Oh.
quiet. It's a little utilitarian. And as you get down there, the doors open again, and you enter into a subterranean. It looks like a closet. So there's like sheets of fabric kind of everywhere. That's kind of a little chewed on and eaten, and it's in a circle. And on the circle is a mural of like a sandy pit with like stadium seating. So it's like a 3D painting. It's flat, but it has a very, very strong illusion of depth. And you enter in and you see big and multiple orbs of, they're all big, but they're of varying sizes that have different, what look like in our language, camera feeds, but they're scrying orbs of different parts of the forest. And there's the village being surveilled and everything. And then there's a high-backed chair with its back to you facing the orbs.
I'm sorry. I know what this is leading to, but go ahead.
Oh,
Chico's
that's
just
what you
looking
see.
around in awe and is amazed at all this amazing technology.
That's what you see. And if you're just looking around in awe, that's fine. And Bixby gets out of the elevator and waits for everybody else to get out.
I act like this is totally normal, and I've definitely been hired by Rich Woods. Why would you want to hire me for anything sort of people before? And I'm like nonplussed. I walk straight up to the person, like the chair not facing me, and I say, "What services do you desire?"
The carriage driver and elevator attendant says, "Oh, my apologies, sir. I was to introduce them, and obviously we have some gung-ho individuals, which is not unwelcome. May I present to you, sir, the fire-breathing kittens?" And you hear a gruff voice say, "Thank you, Calvin." And the chair turns around, and there is a little white moth sitting in it.
No, it's bad moth. Crap. All right, I'm moving into a combat stance.
And he kind of looks at you, and I need you to roll another shadow roll to see if your disguise holds up to this individual.
Oh my gosh! I mean, that +4 shadow is unbeatable. Even with 2d10s against me, I did succeed. A strong hit. Wow.
Excellent.
Oh, the listener might know I've become corrupted and a shadowkin to boost my shadow stats. So I sold a bit of my soul to get a lot better at this disguise thing. I like it.
His like little one of the 3 pairs of limbs he has are tinted, and you can see his compound eyes narrow, even though he doesn't even have eyelids. Like the cowl that he wears over his compound eyes, he's got something to make it look like he's staring into your soul. And they narrow, and then they go back to normal. And he addresses your group as a whole, and he says, "I'm sure that you've been briefed by Bixby here and my valet, Calvin, as to what's going on.
Yeah, they're poaching the cute little critters that all the children play with in the forest, and it's terribly sad.
And although I think I'd be able to handle it myself, there's quite a few other matters that I need to attend to, so I'm trying to set up a team, or at least subcontractors that I can contact when I'm not able to be everywhere at once. I can pay you quite well for this. As you can see, I have funds. This should be enough collateral, or at least proof that I'm able to pay you, but I don't pay until the job is over.
All right, sounds good. What do y'all think?
I'm in.
I will not stand for what they are doing to those cute mink weasels.
I like this one. Vengeance, I think she wants.
What? No? What? I don't have a no.
Right, well, I have some footage, if you care to look through it, of the poachers.
Reine is very interested. She would, like, take a step forward and be like, oh, I might recognize some.
I'm hefting my package and I'm like, I'm ready. Let's see their faces.
So he flutters over to the buttons on this big, like U-shaped desk, and he flies
Tiny
around
moth.
and like jumps on some of the buttons. Despite it being made for him, he wanted it this way. And
Exercise.
I just realized, why is it got... it's hilarious. I love it.
he brings up on one of the more easily viewable from your position orbs a feed of a flock, a mischief. I'm not sure what to call a collective of mink weasels, but
A mischief, yeah. Mischief sounds
yeah.
good.
a mischief of mink weasels, and they're frolicking peacefully in the underbrush.
No.
And then you see the four corners of a net spring up, capture almost all of them. Some of them are able to fly away or scuttle away, and the small ones are able to kind of get through the holes of the net. And then it's raised in the air, and you see 4 or 5 very stereotypical fantasy poacher looking people, fur trimmed, shabby jackets and boots and unkempt beards and long scraggly hair, attend the area and start looking up, seeing how many they caught, and they start to climb the tree so that they can take the net down so they can cart these things away. And Reine, you see another individual. Can you please describe Sigrid?
Sigrid is more on the tall and definitely more on the muscular side. If I had to describe her using kind of like a overview kind of, I would say kind of depiction of Viking, I suppose. But kind of the light version. She has leather armor, especially big like shoulder pauldrons, and blonde hair that she usually wears in like one braid or like a few braids. And she probably hasn't smiled since like, I forgot what year we're in, but like a few years. So she definitely looks like sort of like if you were a fox in a forest, this is like the one woman you would never ever want to see.
Okay. Yeah, you see Sigrid there, and she comes into frame and is quote unquote barking orders at these poachers. And even though they look like tough customers, they even shy away from her harsh. There's no audio on this feed, but you can tell from their body language and her body language that she is being quite loud and they are quite afraid of her. and they eventually get the net down and they drag this net full of mink weasels away, and then the feed ends.
While everyone was like watching that, sort of like in the room, there was this like really low kind of like growling noise when they were like catching like the mink weasels. But like the moment Sigrid comes on screen, there was like, with unknown origin, this noise of like when you step on like the tail of a dog, and they just do this like very sad screech where you're like, oh god, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, that's sad. Not that noise. No. I look around. It's like, what happened to where's my coyote? Is you okay, buddy? It's just chewing on that femur bone. Was that you?
Yeah, and Reine is
was
like has at least taken like 3 or 4 steps back.
Yeah, so the feed ends. Batmoth looks at you and he says, I have other videos that are almost identical to this. Would you be willing to take up the task of stopping these poachers?
Well, I will. Definitely.
Reine seems like troubled, like she's unsure about it, but she's also angry about it. So it's kind of like a fight of like fear and anger. But then she like looks at her companions and she like slowly kind of like nods her head. It's like, oh, well, I mean, I'm not alone, so probably, you know.
He notices that she's unsure and says, well, you don't have to worry about a thing. I can tell you're a bit upset about everything, but don't worry. With us working together, we can solve anything. Even if it looks impossible, we can do it.
Jesse, you find where they sleep, and you sneak in, and the problem's much easier.
And you deliver justice.
My goodness, you should be writing my lines. And someone else should be speaking them. So.
That's not true.
Calvin, can you show them out and provide them with any tools that they might want or need? And Calvin says, of course, sir. And he looks like he's ready to be at your disposal.
Is Calvin the thinning hair, pencil mustache, dapper black coachman's attire carriage driver?
Yeah, not Alfred.
Okay, Calvin. All right, got it.
Would I be able to secure an advantage by crafting arrows of fine quality using my Fletcher kit talent? Yes,
and you have extremely fine quality materials, plus a friend. There is I almost don't even need to make you roll, but because the asset requires you to roll, so how about you roll?
Okay. Let's see, let me...
Before you tell me the result, what is your current modifier to add to the D6? Like, you roll the D6.
Let's see. This is for secure an advantage. This would be... Which one is it?
I think it's wits, but I could be wrong.
It would be edge.
Edge? Okay, so what's your edge modifier?
2.
Okay, I'm going to let you add another 2 because you have very high quality materials and you have like an artificer tinkerer who is your friend. So I'm going to let you add that to your roll to give you a bit of a bonus.
Okay, so I rolled surprisingly with my 2d10s, I rolled a 1 and a 10.
Oh boy, okay.
Yeah, and I've got, I rolled a 5, so I've got a 9 total. So it's a weak hit.
Okay, so with a weak hit, I think you may have been lost in the sauce a little bit. You were spoiled for choice and you got a little analysis paralysis. And you're used to working with natural materials. This is brass and steel and this isn't twine. This is like...
I know what happened because I'm using Fletcher. I'm not making arrows. Remember, I'm flavoring as vegetables.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, this is all amazing. And I'm looking through it. I'm amazed. And I realize, wait a minute. These aren't vegetables.
What happens on a weak hit?
I don't know what happens on a failure, but I don't think I get...
It's a weak hit, though, not a failure.
Right.
So what happens on a weak hit?
It doesn't say what happens on a weak hit.
Oh, okay.
It just says, I'm supposed to add +1.
So that gives you a 10 total?
Yeah, it gives me a 10 total.
Still a weak hit. It's
So
not meat to beat.
Okay. Never mind then.
So what happens on a weak hit? Because usually it's not hit or no.
It doesn't say what happens on a weak hit. It's just secure an advantage and take +1. Get +1 on a hit, but I didn't. Wait, it's a weak hit, so I do still take +1 on a hit. So yeah.
So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So you get +1 because you got a hit.
Mm-hmm.
So that
On
means...
a weak hit, your advantage is short-lived. Take +1 momentum.
Okay, so take +1 momentum, and then you're making ammo, and I know that's an asset of yours, right?
Yes.
On the asset, it should say on a strong, weak, and failure, or miss. Does it not say that on yours? Some assets are all or nothing.
With mine, it just says on a hit.
Okay. You're able to craft with what vegetables you brought with you, but there's no fresh vegetables. So your carrot kunais aren't as crisp.
Yes.
Okay. You can do that. Does anybody else want to do anything in the moth closet?
Do you happen to have maybe picked up any of the nets, or maybe have any sort of items that perhaps have the scent of the poachers?
Totally normal human question.
For my human nose.
I have some hair samples that have been pulled out on the foliage. Would that work for you?
Maybe we'll have to try.
Okay, he jumps on the keyboard some more, and
Magic.
a tube comes up out of the floor with a hair sample in it. And
what color is it?
It is brown.
Okay.
And Calvin comes over and presents you the tube of hair as if it was a rare vintage of wine.
Yummy. Is it like small enough for me to carry, or was just like the tube in the floor kind of like bigger?
Oh no, like he picked it up and carried it over to you. So yeah, it's small enough to carry.
One of his arms had a white towel draped over his black suit, and he like diagonally leaned the bottom of the tube against his crooked arm.
Exactly correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly correct. That's exactly what he did. You can take it, you can pull it out, you can do whatever you want with it.
Reine would take it for now and probably like only open it once we're actually going to start tracking the poachers.
Alrighty.
Speaking of...
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Speaking of poachers, I just remembered. So there was that one that looked like the leader, or as far as Chico. It's Sigurd, but Chico's like, okay, that's the leader. I got an idea, but I have to know if they have any like potted plants or like just a garden somewhere in here, like an indoor garden that I can... I'm trying to craft... I'm using another Fletcher talent, crafting a single arrow for a specific target. I want to see if I can roll for that to get something special for her.
And you would be crafting a vegetable.
Yes. Well, not crafting, but, harvesting a vegetable somewhere.
Yeah, okay, but you would be working with vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let me roll it real quick, because depending on how good of a hit, I get 1 or 2. What does that use? Oh, it's wits. So my wits isn't that high, but let's see, what did I get? Okay, I roll a 4 and a 1, and I 4 and a 1 for my D10. I rolled a 3 with my D6. My wits is 1, so that's a 4. So it's a weak hit. So I'm going to make that a Ravager, which will do an extra plus 1d6 harm.
Okay. So when you are looking around for vegetables, Calvin stops you and he says, "If I may be so bold." And he walks over to what just looks like a big rectangular metal fixture on the wall, and he opens it up, and it's a fridge, and inside there's some choice sweaters hanging, and then on the other side of the fridge is some Tupperware, and he opens it up. And what kind of vegetable would you want to use?
In this case, we're talking about moths as well, it would. I was thinking more like, oh, we're in a forest. You know what would make sense? Like a pine cone,
Okay.
like some kind of like tasty looking pine cone. One of the ones that haven't exploded yet. If you don't know, there are some pine cones like explode.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, when they're just on the tree, they're all like they're small and they're squished together. Like, have you seen a pine cone that's just like really small and green?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's before it explodes. It explodes and then it becomes like that big, wide brown pine
Oh,
cone.
they're not actually like, you mean they're just rapidly expanding, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I was
still
like,
explodes
exploding
with the
pine
Ravager.
cones.
I've never actually seen one explode. I just know that's how they.
Right. Well, he pulls out a green, very like scrumptious looking pine cone. And he says, I was saving this for my lunch, but I think it would be best served with you. And he hands it to you to work on to make a unitasker arrow.
Essentially, yep. This is just like a holy hand grenade for Sigrid.
Just gonna get her butt
Danger
kicked.
cone. Danger pine cone.
Totally unflappable. Calvin inclines his head to you again. He says, very good, sir.
Well, thank you very much. This is exactly the kind of thing I was looking for that no good poacher. And he pockets that, and that settles me down. That's for that.
Is our UPS driver. What's your Robin? Robin. Is Robin doing anything in I'm retconning the moth closet to what I originally made it. It's called the wardrobe.
I like how I just got it too.
It's the wardrobe. Is Robin doing anything?
The only thing I'm doing on the way out is that I happen to be looking at where the cameras are pointed and how many cameras there are. Scrying.
No
orbs.
reason.
And you're trying to see kind of what's on the feed? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm trying to see, for example, if one of them is Jishop, like a big city, I want to know if this moth has the potential to see that far for no particular reason.
Oh, so he has no feeds of anything other than the forest right now.
Okay. Good.
But there's nothing to indicate that he can't have a feed somewhere else.
You got to know where to look, my friend.
But there's
And if you don't, then they can walk right up to you, shake your hand, and take your money.
But there's also nothing to say that he can either. So it's just like, it's just, scrying technology or scrying ability is somewhat limitless. It's just depending on what you're willing to spend, how much work you're willing to put in, how good of a scryer are you.
Not good enough to recognize the person who killed your family, so.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember in Batman how somebody shoots his parents in an alley?
Mm-hmm.
That's me.
Yeah, she did that with his entire community.
I did. Oops. So I'm just, hey, cameras aren't pointed in the right place. Great to know. Love it.
And with that, does anybody have anything else they'd like to do? I think this is a good place to put it on break if we're done in the wardrobe.
Nope, I've got nothing else I want to do. Nothing I can really. I can't really. I'm not. I have infiltrator, but I can't really. I'm not infiltrating. So.
Yeah, you were very much welcome.
Mm-hmm. Nope, that's it for me.
Yes, we were.
Can't wait for all of us to come out of the closet.
One real last quick thing I want to try is resupply, which is just instead of just making arrows, it's actually just grabbing whatever I'd imagine just whatever else they have in the fridge that they might be willing to part ways with. You said they had sweaters?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I love the concept of refrigerated sweaters. Why do they need to be refrigerated?
It's his
Because
lunch.
they're his food.
Oh my god. Does he have merch?
Raine's face.
And
They're wool, of course.
Does he have moth merch?
let's see. So that's
Is it
oh yeah, I
t-shirt?
take plus. at +1, so I rolled a 6, or I've got a 4. That's edge, so 5, 6, 7, and I rolled a 6 and a 1. So okay, that's a strong hit. So I just take +1. Wait, yeah, take +1 momentum on a hit. So it didn't even need to be a strong hit, but that's okay. I'm done.
Okay.
So I was just collecting other vegetables for later.
All right. You didn't take Moth's lunch, though. Like, I know you said something about sweaters, but you're not going to take those.
Yeah, I'm not taking the sweaters.
Okay.
I was just reiterating how odd that is.
We
and how
kill his
silly it
parents.
is.
We take his lunch. How much can we bully this bat moth? Okay.
He'll get his eventually, I hope.
Season's got to end somehow.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that's it for me.
Okay. I think with that, we will go to break.
But 1 second before we take a break, we have a review from Janite, which is how I believe you pronounce it. Similar to Janet, but it's with 2 eyes in the middle. They rated 5 stars and have this to say: Fire Breathing Kittens is awesome. This is my new favorite RPG podcast. The cast is fantastic, the characters are memorable, and the adventures are full of twists and turns. Unlike most other actual plays, these folks showcase all sorts of role-playing games, not just D&D, shining a spotlight on lesser-known gems. The episodes I've listened to so far are hilarious, wholesome, and brilliantly acted. Definitely recommend. Thank you, Janite.
Thank you, Janite.
Thank you, Jenna.
Joining us this time was Reine.
Can't wait to get out of the closet.
Chico.
Well, this is just a very interesting set of events, and I can't wait to take out them poachers, especially that big one barking out orders.
And if you ever wanted to know what Brown can do for you, we have Robin.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Today's mid-episode shout-out is from G-E-A-X, all capital letters. Gax, who says, quote, "What is it like to be famous before you're famous? What is it like to walk in the shoes of another person? Each episode of Imagined Life takes you on an immersive journey into the life of a world-famous person. It'll be someone you may think you know, even admire, or maybe the opposite. You'll get clues to their identity along the way, but only in the final moments will you find out who you really are. So sit back, let go, and imagine your life with our hosts, Oscar-nominated Virginia Madsen and celebrated voice actor Robbie Daymond. All episodes available now." End quote. That was from Imagined Life. You can arrange for us to read your shout-out at firebreathingkittenspodcast.com through our partnership with Buy Me a Coffee. We have paperback, ebook, hardcover, and audiobook adaptations of our adventures on Amazon and Audible. Lastly, we don't pay to advertise our show, so if you'd like to help us out, tell someone about it. Thanks.
Welcome back to part 2 of this episode. We are going to provide you a little recap. We're going to roll for it today between our 3 players. So would everybody please get the same kind of dice, a D10, a D20, or a D6, depending on what system we're using. Let's just use a D6, guys. And we'll roll. High roll gets to do the recap.
1.
3.
I also rolled a 3.
Okay, rollies, let's go.
Oh,
Round
do it
2.
again. 1.
3?
Okie dokie. This recap has been brought to you by Reine.
All right. We were picked up at the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall by not Alfred.
Bixby.
Oh yeah, true. I should probably start with Bixby. Bixby was the one who actually like entered the guild hall and was like, "Hey, I have something to do for you. Would you follow me?" And then we met not Alfred at the
Yes, Calvin.
very luxurious Calvin carriage, and we were then moved to a village in the forest, and we have found out that our job this time is to stop sort of a poaching operation in this forest, in the Misoso forest. They are poaching very adorable and also more rare mink weasels, especially the pied variant, which are probably very popular as exotic pests. If you think of like ball pythons, or else also you have like pied ball pythons who are like more valuable. And we've been hired to like find and destroy the poachers, basically. We've also found out that my best pal Sigrid is part of this operation, if not leading this operation. And yeah, we also met Big B's benefactor, Batmoth, who is sort of sponsoring and organizing this quest. And we are about to leave their hideout, the wardrobe, and start kicking some poacher butt.
That was an excellent recap. So we're going to pick right back up. I have no problem with you guys riding the elevator right back up and getting into the undergrowth. Does anyone have any objections to that?
Nope.
Okay. You exit the elevator. Calvin closes the door behind you, wishes you luck, and you guys are on your own. Yeah, so you guys are in the ground floor of this forest, which looks very much like a Pacific Northwest forest. So big redwoods, big ferns, looks almost primordial in a way. And you're off on your way.
Neither rain nor sleet nor snow will stop me, nor primordial forests. Let's go.
Okay, we did have like the plan before to like see if the villagers had like a mink weasel that we could use as bait, but considering they grabbed like a whole group of minks, I think one might not cut it unless it's like really rare. So maybe we could instead, for asking for like a bait, we could ask for we could ask the kids for spots where there's usually like a lot of minks, like a lot of mischiefs.
You're going about this as if you would like to face these people while they're at their most wary and conscious.
That's a good point.
Which is a very honorable approach. However...
No, I'd rather not. Now that you bring that up.
Perhaps our interaction with them could be at a different setting and time of day. My question is, how do we find out where they sleep? And the answer for that is, people tend to sleep in constructed things. Yes, they are different from trees and leaves and more like beds and shelters, yeah?
That's true. I could try to turn into a crow and see if I spot anything from above. Maybe also still if we ask for like some of the more common mink spots, we could narrow down the area a little bit, because they're probably like somewhere more on the outskirts of that then, but still close enough so that they can just go and nab some minks.
Excellent idea.
Then I guess we would ask the village children where they usually play with minks, and then I would attempt to turn into a crow and go scout.
Okay, so you want to talk to the kids first and then wild shape?
Yes.
Okay, that is absolutely possible. The village is not very far away. So when you get there, you can see some children playing. They're throwing a ball back and forth, like a leather-wrapped kind of ball back and forth.
Actually, Chico, they might be more interested. They might be more interested if you're the one talking to them.
Alrighty. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You do got the kind of that children might be scared of that little mark on your face there. Not to
That is true.
draw attention to it, but it don't make any no difference to me. But for children, you know, they're pretty blunt about these things. Yeah, I can do it. I'm pretty good with kids. Hey y'all, we got some questions about them cute little critters there. I'm going to roll for gather information using wits, which is one of my lowest rolls, but that's fine.
Do it up.
Let's try it. So I'm going to roll my 2d10s. Ooh, this ain't looking good. And a d6. Okay, that's... Man. Let's see. So, what was my d6 roll? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to burn my momentum. I'm going to bring it back down to 2. So it's a +4 right now, which I can burn anything 4 and below, right?
So your momentum is at 4, yes?
Yes.
What did you roll on the D10s?
I rolled a 6 and a 4.
Okay. So yes, you can burn a 4 and below.
So I'm going to do that, and then it'll just be a weak hit.
Correct, sir. So you got a weak hit on gather information. What does that do for you, sir?
Let's see. On a weak hit, the information complicates your quest or introduces a new danger. Envision what you discover.
Okay.
And take 1 momentum.
For the future, you guys should know that I have like 1 skill, and that's gather information.
Okay. Well, Chico, you're the one that beckoned over the kids, and the kids go, Bunny! And they come over, and you're trying to get a word in edgewise, but you are getting scritched behind the ears before you gave permission. Like,
Chica's giggling and laughing. He's like, oh, hold on, I'm not an actual. And he's like, oh heck! And then he pulls out his straw dolls that he's made, and says, "You can have this one, and you can have this one." He's giving them little straw rabbit dolls.
They're like, "Oh my goodness, this is so cute!
I'm the Easter Bunny now."
Yeah.
And then, I got this, and I get. They were distracted. I can't get a word in, and I get distracted. And Chico says, "Oh, look at this little critter here!" And he pulls out his coyote that's kind of chewing on the bone.
They're like, "Oh, what a slinky looking doggy!" And they like kind of like very like gingerly kind of pet him. Is he a cool dog, or is he a cool coyote, or is he like vicious?
This one's pretty chill. Usually they're sassy, but this one's just chill. He just likes bones.
So he likes strangers touching him. Because they're gonna.
Yeah, he'd be fine.
Okay.
He was fine with Robin and Reine touching him, so it's fine.
Okay, so they're petting your coyote. They've got their dolls. You're handing out dolls. You're just talking about how you made them, and you might be able to capitalize on their attention to you, but you got to ask the right questions.
I got this little doggy here, and I was wondering if you guys knew of any of the other cute critters around here.
Oh yeah, there's used to be lots of mink weasels around here, and then they are trying to kind of focus, but they're a little bit overwhelmed with what's going on with like the coyote, the cute rabbit man, the dolls that they just got new toys with. They live a very hunter-gatherer lifestyle, so a lot of their days are taken up with work, and there's not a lot of creature comforts there. So this is like a big deal for them, and they keep getting distracted. But you do know that there are mink weasels around here, and the kids do like to play with them. But that's all you can gather with a roll like that.
Well, it was nice to see you guys. I appreciate you guys talking with me. I'm glad you like my dolls. I have a bunch of kids where I come from that we make dolls for them, and they enjoy them. So I'm glad you guys like it. And he walks off and is like, "Man, I'd like to hide a couple treasures around here. They might be wanting to find them, but they seem to be." I don't know. He's just mumbling to himself. He comes back and is like, "So oh crap!" And he realizes he didn't learn anything. I'm sorry, I got too distracted, as you could see. But I don't think they know anyway. They're dumb kids. They just go around the forest probably. Probably will find them just out there somewhere. If anything, and he's thinking back on the footage, we need to be looking for the traps is what we should be looking for.
True, they are high in the trees.
They're in the trees, right.
They had to climb up the tree to get the net down, so...
You did want to wild shape before we go down that avenue. I just wanted to make sure that you have that opportunity if you still want to take it.
Yes.
Okay.
Then I would discard the form of man.
Okay, it comes off like a sheet.
I need
I love that
To
description.
roll.
Discard
I
the
just
form
need
of
to check
man.
which attribute.
That's awesome.
Just like a heavy pink bathrobe.
I mean, it can go awry. So that's a hard roll. Yes, that's a strong hit. Okay, so it
You
does
have to
come
roll
up.
to shapeshift?
Yeah. I also have to roll to
Okay.
shapeshift back. With my dumb stat. Like shapeshifting is
Baller.
easier, but like changing back into form is like, oh no.
Okay, so on a strong hit, you just get to assume the form that you want, and you're good to go. Is that what that means?
On
We
a strong
homebrewed
hit,
it, so I can't remember.
you change shape masterfully, take +2 momentum.
Make sure you do that.
Yes, sir.
And you are now what did you want to be? A raven?
A crow.
You can be a crow. A corvid of some description.
And then a rain crow would probably be. She might have the scar in every form. That would be cool flavor.
Heck yeah.
And her colors are probably the same as her hair, sort of this like gray black fade. Yeah, and then she would start flying. Oh yeah, she also needs a token to transform into the crow form, which is a raven feather, which you would have packed.
That seems very reasonable for you to have. And you can reuse the same token over and over again, right?
I think so.
Yes, you got a little
So-
toolbox of different tokens. It makes perfect sense to me.
I mean, she doesn't need it for the wolf form because there's like a different drawback there.
Well,
But
that's
for
a
the
different
crow form-
mechanic too.
Yeah. If they take away her token, I guess she couldn't transform.
Yes, that is true. But you have it. You're a bird now.
Caca.
You're like a bird.
What?
Now go fly
Another
away.
Transformer member. That's nice. That's neat.
I
Can
don't
you
think she
talk
can
as a
I mean,
crow?
crows can talk. She would probably talk with like limited vocabulary.
Yeah, I
Be
think
like,
we might
"Little."
follow. We might follow like not Kenku rules, but like you can parrot stuff back more easily than you can form actual sentences.
I'm just thinking back on some of the videos I've been watching on YouTube. A pair going, "This is the rock. This is metal. This is
Yeah,
black."
because for the wolf form, I actually had to buy an upgrade for it so that she can talk as a wolf. So I guess as a crow, she would just be able to do like basic things what like crows can also do.
If the
And-
animal is capable of making noises that resemble human speech, like a parrot or a crow or a lyrebird, that's fine. But you can't be a bear and speak.
Sup?
Yeah.
Yeah, she would like fly over the surrounding area and kind of like see if she can like spot these like things where they hang in the traps on the trees.
Okay. I'm going to need unless you can give me a better reason or stat, I'm going to rule that as a gather information.
Yes. Am I allowed to use my wild blood asset?
Tell me what it is and what it does.
When you face danger, secure an advantage or gather information using your knowledge of tracking woodcraft or woodland creatures, add +1.
You're not facing danger, but I'm going to allow it because the rest of it is pretty relevant.
Gather information uses which stat again? I'm sorry.
I think wits.
Yeah, it's wits.
That is a weak hit.
Hey, so you know how we've made 2 of the party members roll gather information and not the person with the +4 to gather information?
It's
Just
great,
saying.
isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds like
I would carry you if I could, but
What's your dump stat as well?
yes.
Nice.
That's also the one I need to change back into humanoid form.
That's awesome. Yeah, a lot of stuff needs wits.
That's why I don't use it on anything.
Oh, I can't even burn momentum because it's not enough to
Oh, you
Um,
guys. All right.
burn my second die.
So, read me that text again as to what happens on a weak hit for gather info.
On the general move or from the wild blood?
Either. Because you got a weak hit, I'm only going to let you take one weak hit from one of those descriptions.
Oh, I guess wild blood doesn't have one, so it's the general one.
I'm pretty sure it's just you get complications.
I think so. I think it was you get like things that make things more difficult.
Okay, so Weasel creator, I need you to rule something for me. How well can they fly?
Depends on the weasel. But
Can they fly as well as a pigeon?
I would say it's kind of like half-half. Well, I mean, I'd say they can fly, but it's a little like wonky. Like
Okay.
they do this thing where they go like a bit more from like side to side.
You're surveying the canopy of the forest, and you kind of hear a snap not too far away. You see some birds and even possibly some slinky looking bird things that are flying kind of weird, kind of erupt out of this area. That's what you see. It's happening right now. There's your complication.
So either they're grabbing some, or they got spooked by something. Could I like fly closer and like land on one of the trees that's like close by? See if I can see any like of these trap thingies there.
You can make it over there. So you're just going to fly off and not say anything to your party members?
Technically, we're not there because she's a bird.
Yeah, so they don't know what you know, and they didn't see what you saw.
I mean, I can caw, but I would have to like take them there, and if it's like really I'd like to maybe just scout things first really quickly, just so I don't lead them into like an owlbear.
Okay. Go right ahead. So you fly on over, and you see exactly what you were probably dreading to see, which is a net full of pied mink weasels.
Maybe.
Yep. And they're squeaking and cooing and flapping and crying.
Can I attack the net if it's because they have to like after the net is like closed, they have to like they have to like climb up the tree, right?
Reine, if you were able to talk to Robin would tell you that this is fantastic because it means that the like dozen or so captures of minkbirds worth of minkbirds that they have back at their base are unguarded. So that's what Robin would tell you. Them being out capturing right now is great news for the 10-fold larger amount of minkbirds that they have back at their base, unguarded. But Robin's not there to tell you that.
But Robin, you don't understand. The Chico that's not there would also say they're crying and they're sad.
Wow, you guys have so many emotions.
And no
many.
wits.
Oh my gosh.
And no knowledge. Because
We are
no
the
one's
stupid,
there.
but we are the heartfelt stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, is like Sigrid part of them because she would probably like fly down and get a closer look, but she might flinch back if she hears Sigrid's voice.
You see nothing that indicates that they are there yet. If you stick around, maybe they'll show up. But as of right now, either they're en route or it's a set and forget trap and they'll just come over when they inspect all their traps.
How is it like fastened to the tree? Is it kind of like a nail that you can just pull out, or is it something that you need to really tinker with?
Because I did not prepare for that question,
I'm sorry.
I am going to say that it is very rudimentary in the sense that it is a net that is drawn up by like 4 corners or 8 corners or however many to get a nice seal on top. And it's just slung over the bough of a tree like the rope is. And it's pulled by some kind of counterweight or some kind of trigger and fastened.
She really wants to free them, but if they like pick them up, they are going to bring them straight back to base. So it would be a very fast way to get to their base. She would like remember the location and then like quickly like fly back to the village and be like, while flying back and being like kind of out of breath because she's trying to be like really fast, just be like,
Capture! Bed!
I think I know what she's saying. I think they got caught in the net. Let's follow her.
Okay.
No, Poacher.
My bird friend seems very upset. At fast speeds, I follow her.
Same here, yeah.
Okay, so you're not trying to be stealthy.
We're trying to make...
Oh, that's right.
Oh, true. We would have to follow them back to camp, too.
I will say that if I'm allowed to roll for that, we can see how good I am being at following quickly while being stealthy.
Okay. That sounds like a shadow roll to me.
I know.
And the only reason why I'm letting you roll to move quickly and stealthily is because that is what your character is. Chico, I'm not going to let you be stealthy. Your shadow's not high, is it?
No, I have high shadow.
He's a
well, then
ninja.
both of you.
Yeah.
Both of you can then. I know that he's like a rabbit, so I was like, if you want to go fast, you can go real fast. But okay, you're both stealthy people.
Oh, yes.
In D&D terms, we're both rogues.
Yes, and then Reine is the best stealth class, which is a druid, because you go into a bush, you see a squirrel, a raven, and a rogue huddling in the bush. The squirrel runs away and tells the ranger they've been found out, but they don't know that's a ranger's squirrel. The crow flies away and goes back to the party. It's like, yeah, they found me, but they think I'm a crow. And then the rogue gets captured.
The rogue kills the person.
Yeah.
The rogue is suddenly gone, and then the person is gone.
What person?
We have two. Yeah.
Sneak
we
attack.
Have two yeah. We have two disappearances now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm not going to make you roll shadow as long as you behave like a proper crow. But as soon as you start doing things that are too smart for a crow or using language too well, then we're going to have a problem.
That's very fair.
But I need shadow rolls from the two rogues, please.
All right.
I've got this thing with my companion. It says when you gather information, use your hound's keen senses to track your quarry or investigate a scene. Add +1, take +1 on a hit. So would this count for that?
I think that will come in handy, very handy later. You're
Okay.
trying to get somewhere. You're not where you're at the...
Okay, we're just trying to stealth up to there. Okay, so that wouldn't come into play yet. So,
You know where it is because you can follow Reine, and she pointed you in the right direction. So you guys don't have to worry about knowing where you're going. It's just how you're going to get there.
so I've got a
Dang.
weak hit. I rolled a 2 and a 7, and I got a 7 total. So,
You rolled a 2 and a 7, you got a 7 total.
yes.
That's a weak hit.
Yes.
You think you're hidden.
Okay.
I got a weak hit.
Weak hit. So you also think you're hidden. But you guys are also pretty stealthy people. A weak hit doesn't mean a failure. So you guys are moving. You guys are making some noise, but less noise than most. Let's put it that way. And the coyote's there.
Oh, yeah, it's in the backpack right now.
Okay, you guys get there. Takes a little bit of time. And you get there to the edge of a clearing, which is where the net is/was. It's on the ground now, and there it's starting to be pulled away from where you guys arrived at the clearing.
Ooh, so...
You have not been noticed as far as you know. And if you guys want to stay at the edge of the clearing so that you don't come into view, absolutely you can. I'm not going to say that you're in the clearing because then you would be in plain sight.
It's starting to be pulled, you said?
Yeah.
With my eyeballs, without moving my body. I'd like information on what it's starting to be pulled by. And if I don't have information, I'm not moving my body.
It is, you don't even need to roll for that. There is a man pulling it, like from the rope that is fastening the net. He's dragging it.
The man is alone.
Appears to be. He could also be at the end of a long line of a procession.
Didn't we want to follow him to camp?
No. What? No. What? Let's not fight a group. Definitely not following him to the camp. Okay.
Reine is confused. She thought that was the plan.
Okay, hold on. The plan is not to die, first off. Step 1, don't die. Step 2.
Oh.
Reine cocks her head with her beady little eyes.
Okay, I'm talking to the crow in character voice, and I say, I know that you're a very kind-hearted, very warm and fluffy bird with your sharp talons and beak.
Warm and fluffy, yes. Warm and fluffy.
It is very nice. I like being around people who I do not have to worry are going to stab me in the back. But you should know, the reason why you are friends with me is because I will tell you how to stab people in the back. And how we do this to the camp is we make sure this guy is alone. Let's circle him.
Then we stab.
Can you, my bird friend, can you circle him and see if he is alone?
Circle. Can't circle.
You are adorable.
No.
And then
Knowledge.
mechanically, I am shooting myself in the foot because I'm asking, once again, Reine to gather information.
This is great. I love this.
This is great. Oracle, are they alone? And Reine, go ahead and roll. Gather information. Why am I
When you say they, you mean the poachers, right?
the man carrying the net?
The man is alone.
Reine is circling. Okay, so go ahead, roll, Reine.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some rolls. Yeah.
Gosh, why? You know what? Why don't I learn from my past mistakes? Reine, don't roll. I'm going to sneak, okay? Oracle, I would like to be the one to gather information this time. I would like to investigate a devious scheme. Can I do that?
That's very good.
Yes, you can retcon anything before the roll happens.
Excellent. All right. I'm going to roll Shadow using the Trickster ability. Oh my goodness.
I could help you if you want. The crow has like a specific ability for that, which is also in the Crow Companion.
Sure. Yeah, let's see your crow abilities.
Sly. When you secure an advantage or face danger, plus Shadow, using your crow form to perform trickery, such as creating a distraction or stealing a small object. I guess that would be secure an advantage.
Does it benefit my roll at all?
Yes. If there is no mechanical written version of it, I'm just going to give you a flat bonus if it works. Because I like it.
Go, bird, go.
That is a weak hit.
So on a weak hit, what happens? Does it tell you what happens with that crow distraction? Should be on the asset.
Perform trickery such as creating a distraction. Add 1 and take +1 momentum on a hit.
Oh, so it's just a weak hit's a hit as far as I'm concerned. So how do you distract this guy?
Does someone have something shiny on them? Maybe I have something shiny on me. I probably stole something shiny on someone.
You're also a crow.
Yeah. So I would maybe like drop something shiny on him and then like be like, oh no, that's mine. I mean, without saying it, because it's a crow in the middle of the forest being like, man, it's kind of weird. But
Okay.
she would like pretend that she dropped something and he's like in the way and she just wants the shiny thing back. So she's like gonna fly around his like head because it's like in his hair or something.
Okay. You're distracting this guy, and now we're going to let the shadow roll happen. I'm going to give you a +1 to your shadow roll.
That bumps it up into a strong hit. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Take +2 momentum from gather information and +2 momentum from trickster. So I just gained 4 momentum.
Okay.
That's fun.
So make sure you mark those momentum gains down.
Yeah.
And how are you sneaking, and what are you trying to do?
I have a package in my hand, and I am walking along the pathiest part I can path through this woods, like I am delivering
Okay.
a package. Because it
Okay.
says when I use my false identity, I get bonuses. So using my false identity, I'm not your traditional rogue who's like, you don't see me. I'm like, you see me and you don't care. So I'm just walking through the woods with my brown uniform, carrying a package.
With a roll like that, even though it is out of the ordinary, he buys it. So you're trying to cross his path, or are you trying to follow him?
I'm trying to go around him to see if there's anyone else near him. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so you're going to try to overtake him and then keep walking kind of thing while looking like you're busy?
Yeah, I definitely want to be behind him at one point.
Okay. So you can totally do that. And he doesn't even know you're there because he's focused on dragging, and the mink weasels are still crying.
Of course. Is there anyone else around him, or is it just him? That's why I'm here.
With a roll like that, a strong hit, I'm going to tell you yes. You do see some more bodies up in front.
He's not alone.
He's not alone, no.
Darn it.
But they're also far-ish away.
Okay, I keep walking.
Are you going to overtake him? Are you going to overtake him?
No. Well, I mean, like, I leave. I was gathering information. So I gathered the information that he is not alone, and I leave. And I go back to my rabbit friend. Hey, rabbit friend.
Hello.
Okay, so he is not alone. So we should follow him to where he lives, as Reine suggested earlier. But I don't think we should do anything about the minkbirds right now. We should wait until they're asleep. But anyway, hey, crow friend.
Reine would like pick up the shiny thing and like maybe peck the guy on the head out of spite and then fly away. And then like circle around some other trees and eventually return to her friends just so she doesn't give their position away.
You are right. We should follow them to where they live.
Follow.
Yep, I agree. Let's go, and then we can relax and wait for night to fall.
Then stab.
Okay, if you guys are going to follow them back, find out where they are, and then you're going to find a place to sleep, or not sleep, but wait. Mm-hmm. That's the plan?
Yes.
Okay. Raven doesn't roll shadow. You rolled great. I'm going to let you keep the roll. Chico, because this is a new quote-unquote stealth objective, I'm going to let you roll shadow again.
Okay. Second. What am I going to do this time? Ooh, and yeah, that's a miss. I rolled a 7 and a 10. I got a 7 and a 10.
No.
And I rolled a 3 total. Wait, no. I rolled a 2, but then I got +3 with my shadow. So that's 5.
So you are not necessarily walking on the same path that this guy. Well, you tell me, are you walking on the path behind this guy, or are you keeping to the underbrush off the path?
I'm keeping to the underbrush on the side.
Okay. Very typical stealth breaking fashion. You step on a dry twig and it goes snap. And he turns and he sees you. What do you do? He's looking right at you.
All right. There are so many other systems I was playing. There are so many things I would do in those systems, but this system doesn't really apply for flavor. It's either attack or run away, honestly.
I have a question for Chico. You're a bunny. Are you wearing clothes?
Yes.
Darn it. Okay.
I'm a rabbit folk bunny. Now,
Thank you for being honest.
There are a bunch of fun things I could do, but, I'm just going to see him, and he's the guy that's alone, right? He's the only one that sees me right now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to open up my backpack, say, sick him! And me and my coyote are going to attack him.
Okay. In that case, you are attacking with, I think it is. Can you look up Enter the Fray and
yeah, let me
tell me what stat you think you should be rolling with? I personally think it's heart because you're facing the challenge head on. That would be heart.
I understand that we're broken out of stealth and this isn't the greatest thing, but I'm taking charge of this whole thing. I'm like, sick of, let's go. I'm excited, ready for this fight. Take out these poachers. That's sort of what I was going for with that. So this is, you said, Enter the Fray. Okay.
Yeah. It does seem like it's plus heart because...
In your combat, set the rank of your foes, then determine if you are... Yeah, I'm rolling heart.
Yeah. Oh, super bummer.
Okay. But only you are, because the other two party members are still technically hidden. They can jump in if they want, but they don't have to right now.
Mm-hmm. And, ooh.
Oh, and I'm supposed to tell you the danger rank of this boy. He's troublesome, which means he takes 3 progress per harm, and he inflicts 1 harm.
That's troublesome. Can I shift from one animal form into another one, or do I have to roll to revert to humanoid form and then?
No, that's rule of cool for me. You can totally like shift from crow into something else. You got to roll for it, but
Because
Okay, I did my roll, so I rolled a 9 and a 7, but that was for my
your heart roll.
yeah, but my heart roll was a 6. Well, plus 2, so that's 8 total. So I rolled a 9 and 7. I rolled in between, so it's a weak hit. So I choose between either take plus 2 momentum or take initiative, and I'm taking initiative.
Cool. So you have initiative. You get to do the better combat move, which is strike.
So I'm also going to do something with animal kin once per fight, which is right now. Leverage my animal beast companion to make a move, re-roll any dice. On a hit, take plus 1 momentum. So like I said, I'm going to attack with, or throw my carrot kunai at it, and at the same time have it go and attack. And it's using, when I strike or clash alongside the hound and score a hit, inflict plus 1 harm or take plus 1 momentum. So me and it are going to attack together. So I'm going to roll, and that would be edge, because it's technically, I'm using a bow, but for flavor, I'm throwing a kunai. Let's see. So 2d10. Okay. And then d6. Oh, I can re-roll one of them, so I'm going to re-roll one of them. I rolled 2 6s with 2d10s. Yeah. Okay.
That's a match. That means something's going to be magnified. So what's your d6 roll?
No, I re-rolled one of those rolls.
Oh, okay.
So I made one of them a 4. So I got 2 6s and a 4. And then I roll a d6. Okay, so 7. So it's a strong hit.
So you get a strong hit. Your kunai lands true. Because it's a lethal weapon, you deal 2 harm. So the way I read these rules is an enemy takes a certain number of progress per harm out of 10. Everything has 10 quote-unquote hit points. Because you're using a lethal weapon, it's 2 per hit. So to me, it says 3 progress per harm. Well, if you're using a less than lethal weapon or a non-lethal weapon, it would be 3 progress. But because you're using a lethal, it's 2 harm. So it's per harm. 3 per harm times 2 is 6. So you did 6 harm to him out of 10.
Yeah.
So
that was 2, and then...
So did you do any additional after that?
No additional harm. I'm actually taking the plus 1 momentum. The coyote was a distraction. So
Okay.
I got an extra plus 2 momentum after all that was done.
So he is very much hurt.
And I've gotten the upper hand in the over top of him with that momentum.
So before I say what he does next, I'm going to give the other 2 party members an opportunity. Do you guys want to do anything right now? He just got hit with a sharp carrot.
Yes.
A sharp carrot and yelled in pain.
I'm pondering if we could maybe disguise the attack as a wild animal using my wolf form, and after we kicked him somewhere, I could maybe just drag him into the woods and make it seem like he was kind of like, oh, he's at the end of the herd, he's like the weakest one.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll to shape change into a wolf then, if that's what you want to do.
You should. Is there any non-pack animal you can transform into? Just because you are a single, like wolves alone don't exist. Bears alone do. If it's not mechanically different, could you go? It might be easier to lie that a bear attacked a person than a single wolf. Is all I'm saying.
That's true, but there is a separate bear form.
Okay, never mind. Yeah.
That's a strong hit. So the transformation is smooth, and I get 2 momentum.
Okay, you shift into a wolf. Is this your trademark wolf form?
Probably.
Okay, so you're going to shift. How do you attack him? Also, you're entering the fray kind of sneakily. So I think that's shadow. Because, like, yes, you're going to be attacking with your jaws, but you got the drop on him because you were a raven just sitting there. Then you're like, boom, wolf.
Boom, well. Then I roll now on enter the fray with shadow.
Unless you can describe it to me in a different way. But that's how I'm ruling it.
That's a miss. And I can't burn momentum because I rolled an 8 and a 10 and my momentum is 7.
So tell me what a miss does for enter the fray.
Combat begins with you at a disadvantage. Pay the price. Your foe has initiative.
Yikes. Pay the price is you got to make another roll.
Yep. So I'm going to have you face danger because he's going to see you. He's going to draw his club and like kind of like a cross-draw motion try to bat you over the head with it. He wasn't ready, but he's pretty quick, and it was a kind of a clumsy transformation. You're not used to transforming from animal to animal to animal. You're used to like animal, human, break, more animal, human.
Also, she is very afraid of poachers. She might have slipped.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah. So I need you to face danger. How are you going to deal with this guy about to club you on the head?
Yeah. Do you see the pay the price table?
Yeah. Oh, I thought I'm looking at face danger right now. Which is endure harm, endure stress, suffer one supply, or lose advantage or face a new danger.
Yeah, but you got to tell me. How you're dealing with it, because that determines what roll you make. Because there's also the pay the price table, but paying the price in combat, I usually just have them inflict harm on you, because that's also just what you can do in combat.
Yeah, I was pondering between harm and stress, but I think harm would make the most sense because I'll get clubbed in the head.
Okay, I need you to roll. How are you dealing with him hitting you in the head? Are you going to just try to power through it, or are you trying to avoid it? Because you get to do a roll. You're facing danger. And then I'll tell you what stat you have to roll depending on how you want to flavor it.
Oh, okay, now I get it. I would power through, I think. Like, bonk it back.
Okay. Iron. I need an iron roll from you.
That's a match.
Okay.
It's a 7.
All right. I need to know what your 6 is, though. What your D6 rolls.
That is a 4, but this time I would like to burn momentum if I can.
Okay.
And I would like to use the veteran asset also if I can, which is when you burn momentum to improve your result in combat. Does that work, or is it only when I attack?
Nope. You're in combat, so it counts.
Okay, then I would burn my 7 momentum to get rid of the 7 matching danger dice. So that would then be a strong hit.
Exactly. So on a strong hit when facing danger, what does it say?
On a strong hit, you are successful, take +1 momentum.
Okay. So you do get clocked on the head, but he wasn't effective enough. He wasn't able to actually generate a lot of force because he wasn't able to move his hips, right? So you do get a grazing blow. It's not enough to cause any actual injury. It's just superficial. And then we're going to move on to our other stealthy lady. Well, social stealthy lady in the brown shorts.
I've been looking at some things. So would you call this breaching?
I don't know exactly what the breaching is.
Yeah, I don't either. It says when you make a move to breach, traverse, or hide within an area held by an enemy. So I don't know. This is not.
If you're at the camp, I would say yes, you would be breaching it. But right now you're in the wilds.
Okay, all right. Good to know. So yeah, I'm simply going to enter the fray using moving into position and striking without warning, which is a plus shadow roll.
Correct.
So what happens is that my package is open and there's a frying pan in it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh no.
Yes.
I spin the weightless frying pan on an index finger like a Harlem Globetrotter, grab it by the handle, and then conk him in the head.
I need an attack roll.
Okay. Now, with momentum, how that works is that you could give up all your momentum to cancel out a dice of the same value, right? Like give up that much. Yeah.
Yeah, same value or lower. But you don't have to declare that until after you've made the roll.
Yeah. Because the weak hit doesn't allow me to do any damage, I would rather miss.
Oh, okay. By all means.
I'll grant my foe initiative because the question is, can I kill them or not? See, I don't really like to injure people. I like to either kill them or just, oops, there was a fly over your shoulder and a moth.
One shot, one kill.
Yeah, I'm a one shot, one kill. I was aiming for the moth over your shoulder. And so combat begins with me at a disadvantage, pay the price, and my foe has initiative. So there's a pay the price table. I'll roll on that. And now, wow, I'm actually using the full 100. So I got a 74, which is, it is stressful.
Take a point of stress so your spirit goes down by 1.
Uh-oh. Hey, you guys, I'm corrupted and I don't have a lot of spirit. Because we took -1 spirit as my corrupted bane.
Shadowkin?
Yeah, in our chat before the, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I just wasn't sure what the asset was.
Yeah, Shadowkin. All right, so what happened was I swung with the frying pan, aiming for the moth over your shoulder, of course, and missed entirely. And I am disheartened by this.
Yep, she's broken her stealth. She missed her premeditated attack. It's pretty stressful because you're usually not like this. You're like, come on, get my head in the game. Let's go. It's his turn. He is going to yell for his friends to come. And he is going to try to use his billy club, even though you missed and he might be able to capitalize on that, Robin. He's going to try to go for the wolf because it's a bigger threat. Aww. So he is going to try to boop you on the head, to bop you on the head. So how are you going to face danger for this? It's another face danger roll. The most common answers are, I try to use my shield or my armor to take the hit. That's an iron roll. Or I try to get out of the way. That's an edge roll.
No, it would be an iron roll. She might try to either just take the hit and be fine, or snap at the club. It's just a stick.
Right. So that's using your power and strength. Okay. Iron roll. Let's go.
And I think I get +1 on the roll for burning my momentum and using the veteran feat before, because it gives +1 on the next roll.
Okay, yes, go for it.
That is a strong hit.
Yeah, so on a strong hit, what does it say when you face danger?
You are successful, take 1 momentum.
We're going to get repetition in so people just know. Take 1 momentum. You don't take any damage. You get bonked on the head, but it's more like a paper towel roll. Dunk.
I glare at him.
Okay. Who has initiative? Chico, do you have initiative?
Yes.
Okay, you get to have a move.
Mm-hmm.
I think I granted it to the enemy, actually, by missing.
Yeah. He had to get a move in edgeways.
Well, you got a strong advantage on face danger, so I think you got it back. Don't you get initiative back?
On enter the fray, it says on a miss, your foe has initiative. So...
Yeah, but he just attacked me, so he just...
Then did he grant it to his target? His attack target?
Yeah, so I think you might have advantage there, Reine, but it's Chico's turn. So Chico, you go.
Technically, there's no mention of turn order in the rule book.
Yeah, but because there's no mention of turn order, Chico has been sitting here pretty patiently.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm just pointing out Ironsworn mechanics. We're homebrewing.
Yeah, it's much more for storytelling reasons. It's not a tactical war game for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody listening, we're homebrewing that we're going in turn order, which is a concept not expressed in the Ironsworn rulebook, technically by Ironsworn rules, because the initiative was granted to Reine. It would be Reine's turn. So if you're playing this at home, you should know about turn order, which is a concept Ironsworn does not address.
But what Reine does get is that she can now strike instead of be at a disadvantage when it is her turn. Because Chico also had initiative and he never got to capitalize on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I shouldn't have gone at all. I actually, yeah.
Oh, I'm ready to go ahead and
let's go,
act.
Chico.
Yep.
Do
I'll
something.
Do another strike. alongside
All
my
right.
hound.
Roll your edge, my man.
All right. Let's see, 8 and a 4. And then my D6 is 2. I'm going to burn my momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And after that's done, I'm going to also deal an extra harm with the coyote.
Heck
So it's a weak hit.
So it's a weak hit. So you get to do, you're going to inflict your harm, plus 1 from the coyote, which is enough to end the fight. He's incapacitated.
Technically, ending the fight has its own move.
Yeah, which is why I'm saying he's incapacitated, because Chico gets to end it with this enemy with a challenge dice roll. However, this scuffle, this little dust up, this tilly, if you will, has alerted his friends, and they are now arriving into the area. So yes, this guy has fallen over and is either too injured to carry on or is knocked out or something, but he is not fighting anymore. However, 2 more shapes enter your field of view. One of them is very similar to this poacher, and one of them is a tall, golden-haired, braided female.
Maybe we're gonna get our ass kicked after all.
I've got a plan.
Run?
To the bat cave. Or the mouth cave.
Okay, so we could run, right? Like, we could run and hide and live to fight another day and, like, get them when they're sleeping. But I feel like we tried to do that for, like, 3 hours, and it worked out to us just all smashing up in a forest. So let's just smash it up at this point, you know? Like...
Let's smash it up.
Yeah, let's...
Oh, stick around and fight.
I mean,
Okay.
we tried our best to sneak this whole time, and it ended up with us not at all. So let's just finish this fight. Right, guys? Could we have sneaked any sneakier?
I don't think you could have.
Right. So, and here we are fighting anyway. So let's just finish this fight.
I mean, if you look at Reine, she's very scared.
Okay. I look at Reine and she's very scared. Well, she's a wolf and her little wolf paws are like jittering on the ground as her whole body shakes and her tail is curled up under her belly. And I see this blonde hunter lady. Wolves can't talk. So our heartfelt moment is dashed to the rocks by your lack of speech. But you're saying what you need to with...
I bought that asset.
minute.
I can talk.
Yeah, wolves.
Oh.
When she's in her wolf form, she can talk,
Oh,
but that's
okay.
the only form she can talk in.
Oh, all right.
However, maybe you just see the body language before she's able to say anything.
Well, are we allowed to talk? Or no?
I mean, yeah, but they're approaching and they're like moving.
Are these the people who hurt you?
She probably just nod her head.
Did they do that to your eye?
She nod her head again.
Okay. I have a present for them.
Yep, Chico's listening in. He's not saying anything, but he's listening and he understands. He was about ready to run back, try to lead into the bat cave or the mouth cave. Instead, he's going to stick and fight.
1 more sentence each before fighting is imminent. Anyone want to say anything?
Yeah, I want to be afraid of the wolf.
You can be.
All right. Can I roll Pretender?
Yes.
Sweet. I'm going to be so afraid of you, Reine.
So you're trying to reestablish your disguise?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's a melee scene, and sometimes when you enter melee scenes, you aren't sure yet who the aggressor and who the victim is. So I'm going to try that angle.
Mm-hmm.
One last hurrah. Okay, so what happens is that Robin... Now, this pan is a special pan. So when I reach up like 6 feet in the air... Oh, wait, how high can I reach? I guess I can reach up to 8 feet, and I just leave it there levitating.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, just don't look at that. And then I go, ah! And oh no, it's a wolf! And yeah, so I've left my pan somewhere where I can stash it, where I'm not going to bump into it with my head. Very dangerous with a floating frying pan. And then...
Can I really quickly use my sentence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna look at Robin, who smells like a flower. I forgot which one. But she's just gonna say, throw your perfume at me.
Okay, I do.
Sigrid knows who I am by smell.
I'm throwing some stuff. I throw some perfume. Maybe that's why I only get a weak hit. On a weak hit, make appropriate moves to reassure them and add +1 to all of my ongoing stuff, which I totally forgot to do last time. I forgot to add +2 to my, it would have been a strong hit. Anyway, so yeah, they half believe it.
Yeah, they're assessing, planning, and haven't acted yet. Chico, do you have a sentence, or do you just want to get right down to it?
Ooh, I have an idea. Can I try to convince all these, what are they called again? All the mink weasels to help us out?
No.
I can't. Wait, I can't.
How? Explain.
Animalkin, when you make a move to pacify, calm, control, aid, or fend off an animal,
Okay.
or animal beast companion, add +1 take. So I have the ability to.
So yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can try. So
Okay.
roll whatever you have to for that.
I believe that doesn't say which one to say, but I think it would be heart.
Yeah, I would say.
Try to rile them up. All right, guys, it's now or never. You got to fight for your life, and we're here to help you. Let's see. Let me roll my 2d10. I rolled a 2 and a 1, and my d6. Oh, I add +1 to it. So that's 5 total. So that's a hit.
That's a strong hit, right?
Yeah, that's a strong hit.
Okay. So the crying, you're able to yell over the din, and it goes quiet after you say that. They're all looking at you, and then they turn and look at the poachers, and then they just start screaming again, but like more aggressively, and they all start to kind of in unison try to push against the net, and the net's actually kind of starting to kind of creep towards, like they're all charging, but they're stuck in the net.
That's hilarious. Okay, that's what I did.
Okay. With that, Sigrid and unnamed poacher number 2, he's gonna draw his club, and Sigrid's gonna look at you, Reine. You still have that scar on your face, right? That persists, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And she's going to kind of take like a wider stance, legs kind of splayed a little bit, bladed off, and she broadens her shoulders. You see kind of her, the striations of her muscles. And how does she fight in her human form? Does she have a trademark weapon? Because otherwise I'm just going to have her beat you with her fists.
She would.
Yeah, so there we go. So she's going to say, I knew I smelled you, and now I see you. No amount of perfume is going to hide who you are, Reine. And then she's going to launch in like a footballer sprint, like shoulder down, ready to like ram you in the side.
She's terrifying. I love her, but she's terrifying.
She's actually going to try to connect with you. So you're going to face danger.
Let's go. Yeah, she'll just have to try and headbutt her back.
Okay, you're going to meet her head on. Okay.
Because
that's an iron roll.
she knows if she's gonna turn around to run away, Sigrid is gonna really capitalize on that weak spot, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she can like headbutt her and then run away.
Sure. Roll iron.
That is a weak hit.
What happens there?
You succeed but face a troublesome cost.
Okay. So you don't take harm, but she is able to actually drive her shoulder into your like rib cage and get you off balance and sends you flying. You're prone on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's like walking towards you. We're gonna pan from that over to Robin. I always have the name from the last session you were in my head instead of the one you currently are assuming. But yeah, we're gonna pan over to Robin now with a floating pan in the air, acting scared. You just saw your friend in wolf form go shooting past you. after being shoulder checked by a buff Viking lady.
Yeah, I did.
Maybe I should leave.
No, I would never leave you. I mean, the question is, like, I'm just trying to think. This is a person who's very, very important to your backstory and, like, you as a person. And I am a one-hit kill sort of fighter. So, like, the whole point of me is that the people I fight aren't there anymore. Like, and so then I started blasting where I just, like, shot someone and they died and that was the end of them. And, like, I can't do that to your backstory NPC. Like, you guys have things to talk about before you kill her. You know, you got to have the whole villain speech where you know, oh, GM wants to say something.
Yes. The way Ironsworn works, when you...
I know, she's at 10 hit points. She's nowhere close to dying. Yeah.
Well, not only that, let's just say you can one-shot her, because you might be able to, right? But when they are dropped to 10 out of 10 harm or 0 hit points, you roll to end the fight, and the fight ends the way you want it to. So if you want to take her alive, you are absolutely allowed to take her alive.
I think I want to leave her for Reine is what I'm saying. Like, they got stuff. Yeah, they got stuff they got to work out. They got to have a chat, you know, like...
Oh, like let her have the victory. Okay.
Like, the player wants to dive in front of this injured, terrified wolf and help you. But the player also wants you to, like, figure your stuff out and talk to her. And if that means you guys are, like, rolling along in combat, like on the knife's edge at the cliff's border where she might kill you, I'm willing to let you have that tense moment with her. So I'm not leaving you because I'm leaving you. Does that make sense? But I want you to get your story out.
Yeah, I understand. I am a connoisseur of drama.
Yeah, I don't want me to be the one to take out your backstory NPC. So I'm going for the minions. That's my plan.
All right.
I hope I've explained myself.
There's one minion to clock in the head with a pan, just for you.
Well, thanks, GM. I'm going to do that. So is this... I'm already kind of in the fray. So is this enter the fray or is this clash?
I'm going to give you initiative.
Why?
So because you had initiative before, right?
No, I missed.
Oh, you missed? Yeah. Then you don't have initiative. So yeah, you would have to clash. Okay.
Definitely not. Yeah. Okay. But the question is, am I already in the fray with this minion or am I not?
He's far away. So if you were to throw your 0G pan, I'd allow that to be a ranged attack, but you'd have to enter the fray with this guy if you want to grab it and run up to him.
Okay. I'm just curious about clash versus enter the fray with this person. Okay. So I'm just asking you, GM, do I clash or enter the fray?
Well, I'm asking how you're going to do it, because then I'll make a ruling.
It's a good question.
Because I'll let the pan be a weapon because you can throw it quite far because it is 0G.
Yeah.
So you can throw it fast too.
Thanks. I get to roll plus shadow if I enter the fray, and I have to roll plus edge if I clash. So mechanically, what I'm angling for is entering the fray.
Do it up.
So what that means is that I, like, get my pan, and I act very afraid of the wolf and act like I'm running away from the wolf, and my back is towards the person that I'm going to be attacking because I'm like, wolf! And I run towards them, and at the last moment, I flip around and smack them with the frying pan because they were actually my target all along. So it's a melee attack with shadow.
I'm going to rule that as shadow because the majority of setting up that attack to get it to work is deception based. So, and then what? 1 point of impact? That's way more shadow than it is iron.
Okay, so that is enter the fray, shadow, striking without warning. That gives me the chance to really damage this person. Okay, let's roll. Dang, holy cow. Yeah, +4 is really good, you guys, in Ironsworn. That is a strong hit. I hit 9. Yeah.
Okay, with a strong hit.
Okay, so yeah, I'm at 8 momentum. My goodness. And I have initiative, and they take damage.
Take some damage. They take 6 damage. They're the exact same. They're troublesome. So they take over half his health. You took over half of his harm away. And you gave him a good old smack.
Can you explain how harm works? I just don't know how Ironsworn works, and I'd like to learn.
Every opponent has 10 squares of progress to ending the fight, right? Depending on how high their rank is, there are 5 ranks that they give you: troublesome, dangerous, formidable, extreme, and epic. A troublesome enemy is the weakest enemy. For every harm that you do, so there are 2 types of weapons that you can use. You can use like lethal weapons that were designed to kill people,
Frying
like
pans.
swords. Yes, yeah. Like swords and axes
frying
and
pan.
heavy cast iron implements, right? Bludgeons.
Yeah.
And then you have like less than lethal or weapons that weren't designed, like a pitchfork or a fist. Unless you have, like, if you try to build a monk, you can probably make them lethal after that. So then it says your progress. So every time you score a hit and get to inflict harm, it tells you how much harm they do and how much harm you can do to this person. So a troublesome gets 3 progress per harm. So, for example, if you were to strike with a fist, that does 1 harm. So 1 times 3 is 3. But if you strike with a heavy bludgeon or a sword or an arrow, that's 2 harm, meaning 2 times 3 is 6. And then it also tells you how much harm they do. So a troublesome enemy does 1 harm. But if you go all the way down to epic, you don't even get to inflict a full square of harm every time that you do harm. It's 1 tick. And it's 5 ticks. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's 4 ticks, I think, per square to fill a whole square for epic enemies. And they also inflict 5 harm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, epic is pretty insane. I mean, the type is legendary foes of mythic power. So that's like a god. Maybe.
I have like 5 health.
I know. That's why
They would smite me and I wouldn't do 1 damage to them. Oh my gosh.
a poacher is not epic.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I understand that system a lot more. Thank you. So ticks
welcome.
are different than progresses. Okay, and progress is
Yeah.
just like
A progress is a full square.
full square.
So like
Okay.
the actual page, if you were to print it off at ironswornrpg.com,
Yeah.
you would get these progress trackers, and they're all squares. So that's where you can put the ticks in. And you would make an asterisk pretty much to fill in a whole square if you were to deal with ticks at like the higher end of enemies. At the lower end of enemies, you can just fill that whole square in because 1 progress is 1 square.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's how enemies work. You took him over half of his health with a frying pan to the head. And yeah, so now we're on to, I'm going to say Chico, because we have a wolf on the ground. We have Chico who had initiative, right? Like you did really well that last one. Yeah, so you have initiative.
I'm going to see Sigurd. I don't know. Chico doesn't know her name, but the player does. And he's going to look at her. He knows that she is the biggest threat, and she's attacking Reine there. He can tell now that they have some kind of rivalry going on. He's going to smile and just say, "Think fast!" And he's going to throw the pine cone like a football for her to catch. Trying to. Now, let me roll these d10, see what I get. Okay.
I like how you think fast as if you're helpful. Think fast, I'm aiming at you.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be a distraction. Yeah, think fast and then throw it. Okay, so that's a 3.
I've always thought of it as like trying to help the person. It's coming for you, duck. But like you're like, my screaming will allow you to be hit by it more.
Okay, so I'm going to make, so that was a weak hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he throws the pine cone. She catches it. This is going to deal damage to her, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me roll the d6 for the extra damage. Yeah, that's an extra 2 harm. So that'd be 2 harm normally, plus 2, so that's 4 harm total. What happens is I say, "Think fast," and I throw it, and she catches it, and she looks confused, like, "What?" And I take out my little detonator thing, and I click it, and it blows up.
Okay.
She did think very fast, but not fast enough.
So I need you to tell me again, because I was listening to the flavor and forgot the numbers. How much harm were you doing total?
4 total.
Is
Okay.
this your Sigurd weapon? Your special Sigurd bomb?
Sigurd weapon.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what?
Remember he made a special pine cone?
My Sigurd. Oh, that's good. That's good. I just realized. That's awesome. Good pun. Good pun.
You sure delivered.
You would
Oh my god!
you would label her as an exceptional fighter, right? Wouldn't you, Reine?
Yeah. Especially where she is now.
She takes 4 out of 10 harm. So she's at 4 out of 10.
Her deal is basically like in her like current employment, it's kind of like right makes might. So she has to like greet people with her fists every time someone's like, but I want to do that.
Well, you've been thoroughly greeted. And it is now her turn. And as the smoke clears from this exploding pine cone, she is smiling, and you see these very long canines start to form.
Wait, who's she
no.
smiling at?
At you.
Oh, at me? Oh,
Oh no!
I'm like, wait.
So like, yeah, you threw it, she caught it, it explodes, the smoke goes over her face, and as it clears, her hand is singed, still holding there, and you start to see canines start to elongate out of her teeth, and her face start to elongate, and her eyes turn yellow, ears start to form, and she's going to go on all fours, but by the time she hits the ground, there is this big, imposing wolf in front of you.
Chico's like, oh, wait a minute. I calculated this to the best of my abilities, but I'm not good at math.
Just
Wait a minute.
to let you know. Yeah. I made a calculated risk, but boy, am I bad at math.
That's what it was. I mean, that's what I was trying to say, yeah.
So she went from a formidable opponent to an extreme opponent.
Oh,
So she now takes 2 ticks per harm, and she inflicts 4 harm per successful hit.
she is still bipedal.
She inflicts 4 harm per successful hit.
Yeah.
As no. We run away now.
Thank you.
Oh, so she's a bipedal. She's like a full-on werewolf. She's not a... Okay, so...
Yeah. Reine gets the wolf arm from the druid, but Sigurd is more of a barbarian, I guess.
Okay, so she's still gonna run on all fours, kind of
Yeah.
like it's kind of like a hybrid thing, but then she's gonna run up and she's gonna try to swipe at you, Chico.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do, man? There's a big old wolf, man.
Let's see. What's the move to dodge or to it's
That's an edge roll when you face danger,
face danger? Okay.
and I think you have a high edge, so best of luck.
So I rolled a 9 and a 1 for my d10s.
Well, at least you'll get a weak hit.
Yeah. And then, yep. Gonna roll for... Yeah, it's a weak hit. So I rolled a 6 total.
Okay, so on a weak hit, when you face danger, you get some options, I think.
Wait. Where is face danger?
Face dangerous in adventure moves on page 60.
Companion, endure harm, face death, endure harm.
Use Control F.
Use Control
yeah.
F and just hit face danger.
Let's see.
Page 60.
Oh, I'm going to it. Oops. Page 60. Oh, man,
Hey, because this is a podcast, don't say anything, and
Yeah.
when I truncate silence, it'll be silent. And it'll
Okay.
be like you thought of it right away. It could be a 1.5 minute long silence, and if you say nothing, it'll be 7.7 seconds.
Okay, but I choose a troublesome cause. Here we go. Choose one. Tired. Okay, so I hit succeed by endure 1 harm.
Okay, so she is going to get you. She's going to get you right on that little rabbit thigh of yours. And, but you got out of her giant friggin' talons. So you weren't cut in half. You were just cut. So you take 1 harm. So you're at 4 out of 5. 1 more hit's going to do you in. And that's her move. So I don't think anyone... Okay, you know what? You've been lying prone on the ground for a while there, Reine. I'm going to let you get up and do something. You've got mink weasels still embravened by the speech of a little rabbit, trying to escape and possibly fight. you have a poacher who looks like he might be next on the list for people on the ground. And you have Chico, who just got nicked by a werewolf.
Reine, like her entire being is telling her to run away. Very much so. Maybe she even like kind of like turns a little as if she's gonna run away, but then she hears like this little yelp from like Chico from getting like the thigh wound.
Oh, yeah.
And she's gonna like swivel around again and kind of like probably charge at her. I don't have anything like mechanic wise, so I guess I would just keep using the wolf form. But I would like for her to, for the first time, assume her true form, and also kind of like while she's like charging, assume this kind of like bipedal werewolf kind of form.
Right. So you start to run as a wolf on all fours, and if we're tracking it with a camera, it's in profile. Trees are going by, and then when one tree goes by, instead of a quadrupedal wolf, it's back up to a bipedal, fully articulated hands werewolf running, kind of like Tom Cruise.
Can I, while I charge at her, is the net like in my way? Can I like just cut it while I'm running by with like my talons?
It would be. Yes, it is in the way, and yes, you can cut it with your talons.
What roll would that be?
I'm just going to let it happen, because you got really sharp claws, and it's not hard. It's a big net. So you're going to...
I just cut the opening, trying not to injure anything. But
yeah, you're fine. You're not going to injure them. And it opens up, and these derpy little flyers come flooding out. Just a sea of like black spots and white spots and brown spots come, flying out. And while you're running, they also join you as like a wave of flying little rodent birds.
I love this.
Sigrid and Reine both have horns. Except Reine's are cut very short. But she would charge at her like head first, and like even though like not a lot of like her horns is left, she would try to kind of like do this thing that like deer do, and just kind of like wrestle her, kind of like get her in like this wrestle grip.
Yeah, I forget the technical term for that. There's an actual specific term for when stags clash like that. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, you're gonna do that, correct? That's what you're gonna do?
Yeah, she's gonna like run at her and like try to like get her talons, kind of like, when you like push against someone with both your hands, and like try and like get the horns to clash together, like what's left of Reine's.
I need that's definitely iron. I'm gonna need an iron roll, because that's a clash.
But she's not trying to, she's like just trying to like hold her, I guess, so that everyone else can get away. And
that's
hopefully everyone can get away, and then she can just hopefully also get away. But for now, she just, yeah.
So that's still an iron roll, but you're trying to hold her immobile.
Yeah.
I know I always fight with Shadow, but I'm not that much of a jerk to leave you with her. So that's cute that you think that you could hold her and I would run away, but you would hold her and I would come up and stab her. That's what's actually going to happen.
I got...
You're not alone anymore, silly.
I don't think I have anything that gives me... No. Yeah, then that's a weak hit, and I can't burn any iron because it's a 9.
So it's a weak hit?
Yes.
So you are successful in connecting with Sigrid, and she does accept your grapple, and she's pushing back against you. However, it's almost patronizing that she's like, I'm going to give this to you. And I'm not just going to immediately buck you off into the next tree.
Even though I could.
Yeah. And then she's holding you there. So you might not be holding her because you're strong, but you're holding her there because she's
Bullying me.
like a patronizing jerk. Yeah, she's a patronizing jerk.
Yeah.
And she goes, okay, we'll play your game. Like, she's arrogant.
Yes.
I bet she's whispering to you as she holds you.
Yeah, she's going to, but I was going to let you guys do stuff before I do some trash talking.
You should do some trash talking. That way I'll actually be able to kill her. I can't kill people until after the villain speech.
Okay. She's going to clash, and she's going to say, you've grown brave, but not strong. And then she...
Gosh.
Critical hit.
And then she feeds you like an uppercut into your ribs.
Oof.
You're going to take like 1 harm for that. Just because this is going to be flavor. It's going to be Flavor Town right now.
Let's go.
Even her words hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I take some extra stress just because.
If you want to, I wouldn't suggest it, but go for it.
You know, Ironsworn's one of those few systems where you do have spirit and supply. Like, would you say that this is a punch to her spirit, GM?
It could be a punch to her spirit. If you would rather take that as stress rather than actual damage, that's fine. And just for the people listening back home, if your spirit reaches 0, you just put down your stuff and go home.
Or join her. She might make you join her and then hunt your kind.
That could happen.
Oh,
You could be a thrall.
Yeah.
That
Vikings
would lead
did
to something
that
a
too.
bit darker, I think.
Yeah. So that's what happens. There's that exchange. Do you say anything?
I don't think she's really thinking. I think she's just acting like purely on adrenaline because she's still terrified. But because she's terrified, there's like a lot of adrenaline in her body. So I think she just really, it's like when you corner like an animal and it just like starts attacking you without any like just to attack you and get out of
There's
there.
reckless
Yeah.
abandon.
So I think she just tried to fight until everyone else maybe got away, and then unless she gets too hurt, then she might just get really scared again and kind of run off.
Right. Okay. Chico, are you going to do anything? I know what Robin's trying to do, but what are you going to do?
I've backed up. Chico's backed off. He's kind of crawling away, backwards on his hind, and he gets up and he jumps up and he sees her fighting. She goes and punches Reine in the stomach and says, "We're not done yet. I didn't hear no dang bell." And he throws a carrot.
Okay, that is an edge roll, sir.
Yep. Let me do that. See, that is definitely be. Let's see, D6, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I rolled a 3 and a 10, and then I got a 7 total. So
Okay,
it's
so it's a weak hit. Okay.
And my coyote is helping with this attack as well, like before, and this is going to do an extra harm. So my
Okay.
coyote is up there attacking as well. So it does a
So-
total of 3 harm, or 3 ticks, or half ticks.
It's 2 ticks per harm. So how many harm total?
I did 3, so 1 and a
So
half.
that's 6 ticks.
Oh, it's 6 ticks. Oh, okay.
Because it's 2 ticks per harm, right?
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I have tracked it accordingly. So you throw a sharpened carrot stick. It hits her. She does not care. And the minkweasels, I think by now, would have been able to do something. So they are going to start swarming Sigrid and starting to get in her eyes, like biting any soft bits that there might be. So like her nose, her jowls, mostly her eyes and her ears, getting into her ears with their little beaks, trying to do stuff. Most of them are just kind of like kind of just like running into her and then like just headbutting, and it's not really that effective. But some of them are able to cause enough pain or enough annoyance that she's like closing her eyes and squinting and baring her teeth. It's like when you get swarmed with mosquitoes in the summertime. It's like they're not actually causing any pain, but like it's really hard to see. And now we're going to go to Robin.
I don't have initiative, so I'm going to clash.
Okay. That would be a edge roll. Well, it depends what you're doing. Sorry.
My choices are edge and iron, so I'd rather edge. I throw the frying pan.
Okay, you throw the frying pan. I need that roll, please.
I am a lot less good at edge than I am at shadow. But even so, that is a... Oh, no, I'm not. Yeah. A 3 and a 4 on the... Wait, hold on. That can't be right.
That's not bad. It's a
3 and a 4 on the dice. Gosh, doesn't matter how bad I am at edge. Yeah, that's a strong hit.
There you go. You got a strong hit on your clash, which you get initiative back.
Interesting. I get initiative
think.
back, I inflict harm, and I choose to inflict a bonus harm because I don't want Reine to die, rather than take a momentum.
Okay. So how many harm is that total?
2 for my lethal weapon and 1 for my strong hit. 3 total.
Okie dokie. That is marked accordingly. So the pan...
And I shout a thing.
What do you shout? Shout your thing.
Delivery!
Ding! Goes the cast iron pan. And it... I'm going to say you threw it accurately enough with a strong hit. It's actually returning to you like Mjolnir. Because it's 0G, right?
Oh, no, I'm okay with that. You know, it's a 0G pan that I threw. So I'm okay with it going into space.
Okay.
So like I have to say goodbye to my pan forever because it was worth
smacks her in the head and it starts to fly off.
Goodbye, pan.
It's gong
Cameras.
resonating in the forest.
Yeah.
Camera's panning out.
Oh
And,
no, you're so bad.
To the pan, goes into
Yeah.
outer space. Maybe one day if we'll get a space episode, I can get it back.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
From a spaceship window.
And Sigrid is going to excuse me, is going to turn to you. Not turn to you, she's still looking at you. And without being able to see you, she's going to kind of wrestle you down to the ground in a way that I don't know if you guys did wrestling, but it's like you're in a clinch. So she's trying to use the front of her body and like the strength of her shoulders to kind of like whip you down so that you go face first and she lands on top of you. So I'm going to need a iron roll from you, just a contested kind of check there, Reine. So roll an iron roll.
That is a weak hit only. Because I keep rolling nothing but 9s and 10s.
Okay. So she is going to get you down on the ground. You're not going to take damage from it, but she is going to get you down. And she's going to pretty much make you eat dirt, but she's still having a really hard time with the mink weasels that are in her eyes. And she's going to unclench with you, kick you to get distance away from you, and she's actually going to take off into the woods. And as far as this is concerned, with the one poacher who is still alive but concussed from the pan, and then the other guy who's on the ground, probably unconscious, the one who's still up is going to see what happens and run away. And she's going to live to not be so embarrassed to fight you again, and hopefully really make you, quote unquote, eat crow later. But the mink weasels heroically are too much for her. And she doesn't really want to win this way. So she's loping off into the woods.
Too proud.
Just in the middle of nowhere. She's not going back to the camp because there's that path. She's not on that path. She's just gone. And she's like yelling. She's like, "You haven't seen the last of me. cheap tricks with these little rodents, and then you just hear the mink weasels just continuing to chitter. They're like "Meow," into the woods, but you start to see them kind of peel off a little bit. And then that's the end. Combat is over, so you guys don't have to worry about turn order or initiative or clashing or striking. Now you can just talk and deal with what these guys are up to.
All right, we did it. I guess that was definitely scary, and yeah, once again I jumped out of cover, and yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. He understands. He started everything, got everyone into that situation. He was excited. You'd see he's looking around. Everyone got hurt, and didn't really accomplish nothing.
Is there a poacher still here, or are we poacherless?
Well, one ran away.
Yeah.
And then there's one who's like on the ground in a fetal position.
Okay. All right. And then the one that dragged away the minkbirds earlier?
He's the one that's on the ground.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then there is one more with Sigrid. He ran away.
Got it. Okay. So we have a poacher, sort of. We have an unconscious poacher friend.
You have an unconscious poacher.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's something. We haven't really stopped the poaching of the minkbirds.
Not quite.
I mean, it could be something to resolve in a different episode, I guess. We've fought Sigrid. We could just like...
Are there any mink weasels still here?
There's a couple of stragglers who like couldn't get out of the net.
Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and release them and see what they want to do. See if we can't take them back to town and keep them safe.
I have a plan.
I mean,
Okay. Here's my plan. I go over to the unconscious poacher. Long story short, I'm going to say what we need is a guard against poachers. What we need is an in to how the poachers think so we can take them down for sharesies. Or what we need is for the poachers to be dead. Those are our three options. We can either protect the minkbirds, outsmart the poachers, or maneuver them, or kill the poachers. And what we have here is an opportunity into their methods and potentially to hire a guard, depending on how weak-willed this person is. Probably pretty weak-willed. So maybe we can sway them to our side and get them to... We can pay them with all of Batmoth's money to be you want a better paying job? Guard the minkbirds. Betray your friends. Or at least tell us your friends' secrets so we know where to set up cameras. How are they getting in to this area? We can find out. Oh, and where are they selling the minkbirds? So this person could give us a lot of information. There's a lot of potential paths from this moment here. Think about what Robin would do. Robin would go into disguise. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to be a fake fence. I'm going to try to buy minkbirds from this guy, right? If he wakes up alone, he's going to go back to the camp and he's going to try to sell the minkbirds that are at his camp. We still don't know where their camp is, right?
You could extrapolate that there's like a worn path of like where this net was either dragged or it's just a game trail that would lead to this like poacher camp.
Yeah, but we're in the middle of the woods. There's no guarantee. Apart from the GM telling me straight up that I could find their camp. Like there's no guarantee that I could find their camp. Okay.
Mm-hmm. There are kind of reliable paths to follow, but you have no evidence other than maybe waking this guy up and talking to him to find out for sure.
Yeah, we don't know the infrastructure where the minkbirds are going either. Yeah.
they're probably not going to sell them at a camp in the middle of the woods. Probably going to ship them somewhere else.
So whoever they're selling them to is just going to hire more people to poach minkbirds.
Probably.
Yep. So what we need...
Or they're going to bring them back to like their headquarters or something and sell them
Reine,
from there.
Here's my plan.
Reine is currently on the ground having a panic attack, breathing really fast. You know, like the one scene in Puss in Boots' Last Wish.
Aww.
I mean, it's been going on for a while now, so she's probably slowly getting better, but...
You need an emotional support chihuahua, and I'm not that. All right.
I mean, is there still a mink bird?
My plan is infiltration, right? We didn't stop the poachers. We really messed that up. We're very bad at it. But what we could do is send a mink bird, aka Reine, shapeshifted. No, they kind of know who you are. Darn it. But we need to know who's...
Also, I can't shapeshift into a mink bird, I think.
Okay, we need to know who's buying the minkbirds, or else they're just going to hire more poachers. I'd say we done messed this one up, you guys.
I mean, Reine could probably track at least Sigurd's scent back to camp, and maybe they have some documents there.
And then they'd kill us. They were really close to killing us.
I mean, Sigurd is out of the way, and like, I guess she could just crow in the camp.
If we...
I'd say just take the one straggler that we have with us back to Batmoth and let him handle it. He said he could handle it, but he had other things to do.
That's true. Sorry, we done goofed, but we did get this guy.
This person knows who they're selling the minkbirds to. So if I can get that information out of them, I will consider this next scene a success. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I guess let's drag the guy back to Batmoth.
Sounds like a plan. We're going to drag the guy back to Batmoth. Do we go back to the camp and release all of the currently caged minkbirds that are there?
I'd say bring the mink birds back to the town and have them take care of them.
They're wild animals. Yeah. Okay. All right. So do we go to the camp and release all of the imprisoned minkbirds that are there awaiting transport to the fence? Do we drag the guy with us there or drag the guy to the Batmoth cave?
I mean, we noticed during scouting, we did notice that they're kind of primitive, so I guess I could just crow the nets open if I do it fast.
I have no doubt that if we go to the camp, we can open the enclosures, unless Sigurd's there and then she kills us.
I mean, Reine would know if Sigurd's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could definitely smell her.
No, it would just smell like a whole bunch of Sigurd smell, right?
Well, it depends on how good Reine is
Yeah.
at knowing how much of a scent means something's there and how much something was there.
Yeah, she has a very good nose.
Okay, well, you guys are the bleeding hearts. So the question for the bleeding hearts of the group is, do you really want to take this guy back to Batmoth, and get the fence information out of him, like Robin does? Or do you want to go back to the camp where Sigrid might be and might kill us to try to let go all of the... Yeah.
I mean, right now she's probably not in the camp, so if we split up, I guess we could accomplish both.
That's a good way to die.
I wouldn't worry about going back to the camp. I just want to turn in the mission, keep everyone safe. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Batmoth, this is where he's set up. So, and he said he'd be able to take care of it. That's just my opinion right now. Because Sigurd's too much for us to handle, and not sure we could do it even on our own or all together.
Yeah, Sigurd's too much for us to handle. Let's at least get the location of the camp so that we can give Batmoth that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll feel bad accepting money. No, I won't. It's from Batmoth. All right. I don't think we did the job, you guys.
Me neither. I mean,
Okay.
I can scout out the camp and then I guess fly back, though.
All right. Do not land.
Probably try.
Do not land.
Mm.
Your friend will kill you.
So what's the plan, y'all?
We're gonna take this guy back to Batmoth after Reine tells us from bird form where the location of the camp is.
The camp location.
Okay.
And then Batmoth can figure it out. Peace.
So off you go. So I'm willing to kind of hand wave all of this just to say that all happened without having to do rolls and stuff so that we can just kind of fast forward to the wardrobe.
I will not be there for some reason.
Okay.
I will hand the person to Reine. They are tied up.
Okie doke.
Oh, goodbye.
Do I, as the GM, need to know where you are, or just that you're not going to go see Batmoth?
I'm out of the episode. Yeah. All right, you guys have a good wrap up. I don't want Batmoth to remember that I'm the one that killed his parents.
Okay.
Good luck. Get whatever gold you can out of him. It was a nice adventure. I'm glad I got to beat up your bully. We'll kill them in the future.
Oh boy.
It's too
All
bad
right.
they're going to continue to hunt minkbirds.
So Reine gets the location of the poacher camp. And then the two of you, Chico and Reine, head back down the elevator. Calvin is there waiting for you to open it up for you. You're down there in the wardrobe, and Batmoth is there with this guy, this poacher, in restraints. He's coming to a little bit, and Batmoth says, Calvin, please take him into the other room. Calvin, right away, sir. And he takes him into another room, and the door closes. Batmoth, flutters over to you guys, and he says, "So, can you tell me what happened?"
We're probably both very rejected, kind of, or dejected.
Yeah, I feel really bad. And I'm going to actually use my honor bound path to try to convince him that we did our best and this is the best we could do, but that I screwed up. And
Okay,
it's probably
tell me
why
how
we
that
lost.
works.
So I could secure an advantage. Or when I use, actually, I am going to secure an advantage with fulfilling my vow. So I'm going to imagine fulfilling your vow as completing the mission successfully.
Yeah.
So I'm going to secure an advantage by telling a hard truth. And the hard truth I'm going to tell him is that the biggest reason that we couldn't complete is because I jumped the gun and I wasn't able to sneak well enough. And when I got caught, I immediately freaked out and attacked the first person I saw. Because I was so distraught by the minks and everything going on. And everything just started to compound and compound. She was like, I'm just really sorry. I didn't mean for all this to happen.
Oh.
I just really wanted to get justice for those cute little critters. And everything started spiraling out of control. So that's going to be me securing an advantage.
He's going to, oh yeah, roll your roll first, sorry.
Mm-hmm. So I got 5 and a 2 for my D10. And I get +1 on this D6 roll. And it's heart. It's 5. Wow, I roll a 5, so 6. Wait, what did I roll for the... Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a strong hit.
Okay. You're going to feel like a fluffy slap across your face. And yeah. And he's going to say, get a hold of yourself. You did your best. Your heart was in the right place. You need patience. You're an acrobat, are you not? You're quite limber and you can jump around.
Yeah, I am.
Would you also say that you have much to learn?
Yes, I'm trying to learn as much as I can, actually.
And you would like a teacher?
Yes. Teach me anything. I'm willing to learn.
I want to show you something. And he flutters over, and like a slide of a door opens, and there's a cable knit sweater. It's red with a yellow R on it. And it's just, they're of like varying sizes, all the same sweater of varying sizes. Mm-hmm. And he's, come here.
Oh, what is this?
He looks at you and he looks at the collection of sweaters and he's like, pick that up.
Are they chewed on?
He picks it up.
Sorry?
Are the sweaters chewed on?
Are they chewed on? No. They're not chewed on. And he says, put it on.
Okay, Chico takes off his cotton shirt and overalls and puts that thing on.
I think this suits you. If you would like to learn from me, you will now be known as Rabbit.
Rabbit?
I put an R on all these and I just make it fit.
Oh, okay. That's neat. Okay, I like this thing. He's just looking at this sweater. It's kind of warm. He's already...
There'll be other learning opportunities in the future. When you see the signal, put on this sweater and you will become Rabbit.
But I am... You know what? Okay.
It's got like a green collar and everything. And he's going to go to Reine and he goes, as for you, I've fought bigger and stronger opponents than myself. Sometimes you don't meet strength with strength. Sometimes you need to be smarter. Do you understand what I mean?
I suppose.
Outwit your opponent. prepare for them.
Balls.
You are brave. If only you are as prudent as you were brave. Sometimes it does not help to be overtly honorable. Sometimes you need to use the shadows, or a surprise, or friends.
I guess so.
I have failed before. That didn't stop me. I've gotten better. Please be encouraged. And with this,
I suppose I will decide to feel encouraged.
so he, like, with this stern kind of talking to, but also trying to be as encouraging as he can, because he's also like a very like abrasive person, but he wants you to do your best because he knows you guys did your best. He goes, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to interrogate this individual. You don't want to be here for that. And I will pass that information along to the locals where they will take care of it. I think I'll stay here. I have no home anymore. I'm thinking about naming this unnamed village. What I think Motham has a ring to it.
I like Motham.
Yeah, Motham. Perfect. It fits. Uh,
And did you meet the leader of this village?
Yes, at the beginning.
oh, yeah, yes, we did. That tall fellow with the long black hair.
Yes, Chief Gordon. And he is becoming a very good asset to the people of this village and to me. He's able to allow me to dole out my brand of justice while remaining within the confines of his moral code. But with that, I'll send you on your way. You were instrumental in the dismantling of this poaching operation. It wasn't completed. However, I think a reward is in due course. I'll give you both 5,000 gold pieces and for your friend as well. Where is she anyway?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Weather boy.
Yeah, is that like echoing inside of the wardrobe,
No,
or is that just
That was not
okay?
in character voice.
Whoever knows.
I'll happily take it and give it to her next time I see her.
Very well, here you are. And he hands it to you. And he goes, I have work to do and I am very tired. And then, what did I call him? Not Clark. Calvin. Calvin is going to usher you guys out this way. And he's going to ride you up. Bixby's nowhere to be seen, but that's not necessarily out of the ordinary, seeing as he has his own life and his own job. But if that is the end of it, you will be put back into the carriage and ferried back. Just to be totally clear, Robin, you went off into the woods. You're not even going to ride home with them.
Nah.
Okay.
Who knows where I go in between adventures, really?
Right.
No one does.
So you guys haven't thwarted the operation, but you took a big step in its dismantling and finding the demand. You found the supplier, but you didn't find the demand yet. So that might be step 2. And we still have to deal with your bully. Maybe next time there won't be mink weasels to distract her and make her feel uncomfortable enough to not want to keep fighting.
She's very proud.
So you guys ride off into the sunset. It's drawn. The carriage is actually being driven by somebody else that isn't
Calvin.
Calvin. He waves you off and he stays behind. What you don't see is Calvin returning to Batmoth, and Calvin says, Master Apollo, that's his real name. His real name is Apollo Velvet. Master Apollo, you surprised me pleasantly today. Batmoth, still looking at the scrying orbs of the forest. You can see snippets of Robin kind of through the forest, but sooner or later she's off the feed of the immediate forest. And he says, I found her.
Oh no.
And you didn't react the way I thought you would. No. If I can foster her to do good, I feel that would be the greatest honor to my parents and my whole city. If I can turn the engine of my destruction into the engine of redemption, I think that would do them well. And then the lights turn off, and then there's nothing left but the smell of mothballs and fluttering in the darkness. Is there anything happening post-credits for you guys?
Oh yeah. Like when we're being like let out at the Fire-Breathing Kittens Guild Hall, Reine would like turn to Chico and maybe like go down sort of like, so they're kind of on a similar like eye level, and be like, I know you're bummed. I'm bummed too. It was really scary, and I'm really disappointed we couldn't help more, but I'm sure we can like grow stronger together. And she'll like,
Oh, yeah.
maybe hold out her hand into like a fist bump or whatever. Just like a clumsy one, because
Oh, yeah, he goes along with it. Yeah, this, regardless of everything that just happened, and that person you were talking about, I assume you were talking to him about Sigrid on the way back, maybe?
yeah, probably.
Yeah. And Sigrid, yeah, you'll take her out one day. I can promise you that, and I'll help you out with that. No problem. Everyone in the Fire-Breathing Kittens has helped me with my problems, and I know I would, and everyone else here would too. So don't feel bad about keeping them secrets. Just let everyone know about your troubles, and everyone will be there. Everyone's got your back. I promise you that.
I'll remember that. Thank you.
And if you ever got to talk about something about Sigrid, or you need help with her, you let me know, or you let Robin know, or whatever name she's going by. I got to give her this bag of gold next time. I know she'll come around eventually for her gold. But she definitely got your back too. Everyone here does. Me and her especially.
That makes me feel better about what happened today. I'm not strong enough to face Sigrid yet, but
You'll get stronger.
yeah,
That's
I
no
feel
problem.
like here I could grow strong enough to maybe face her, someone in the future. Not today.
And I got these snazzy pajamas, and this is going to help me become something. I don't know what, but this will definitely do
rabbit?
something for me. I'm not
More
sure about
rabbit.
wearing it all the time because it's kind of comfortably warm, you know. I'm going to take this off after I get back to the end. But yeah, this has been a wonderful adventure. Well, wonderful learning experience, and man, I really don't feel at home wearing this stuff.
Well, the good news is you don't have to wear it all the time.
only when the signal comes up.
The rabbit
Yeah.
signal or the moth signal.
I love this so much.
You're the rapid rabbit.
Oh man, I think that's it.
I think that ends our session, everybody. Joining us today was Reine,
A learning opportunity, I suppose.
Chico,
This has been quite the wild ride, and I'm glad I'm finally able to at least do something with myself and help others out. Now that everyone here at the Fire-Breathing Kittens helped me, I can help other people.
and joining us for a brief moment until she vanished once again was Robin.
She's walking through the woods. She's got a padded envelope. And what did the delivery driver say when asked what time the package would be there?
What?
Before 2 p.m. She's heading there. She'll get there.
Nice. All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Bye.
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 It's that part of the show where we recommend a podcast that you might enjoy. Have you heard of Stories and Strategies? Communication is in every facet of our daily lives. In fact, if the ability to cooperate is what makes us distinctly different as humans, it's the ability to communicate that facilitates this. Is it any wonder communication has become a thriving profession? Those who succeed have the ability to persuade through public relations, government relations, media relations, crisis management, stakeholder engagement, marketing strategy, advertising, through all things strategic communication. They will create the websites and social media campaigns that influence us and the podcasts we remember. Doug Downs hosts the podcast Stories and Strategies about PR for those who do the work and those who hire the comms pros. Some topics you might encounter could be: we have on average 6,000 thoughts per day. How do I make my brand one of those? Nudge theory, or how do you effectively nudge someone to do what you're hoping they'll do? Will generative AI eclipse how we currently communicate? And more. Check out Stories and Strategies, a podcast.